Good evening and welcome back to Drakkenheim. This is the Dungeon Dudes weekly Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition live stream campaign. My name is Monty Martin, running the campaign as Dungeon Master.
And I'm Kelly McLaughlin, playing Cogswell B. Copperpot, the Gnome Divination Wizard. And we're joined today by our good friends.
Jill Denitis playing Nimble Quill, the Tabaxi Conjuration Wizard.
And Joe O'Gorman playing Rufus Stonewall, the Human Abjuration Wizard.
Welcome back to the city of Drakkenheim. If you are just tuning in for the very first time, welcome, first of all. And for those of you that are joining us once again and wondering what's going on this evening, these are the Untold Tales of Drakkenheim. As a result of the current global situation, we have opted to move our game into an online format. And because we are still getting the hang of how to do all this, getting used to playing online remotely across Skype, getting used to, how the group dynamic works and everything, we thought it best to switch over to this mini campaign style of the Untold Tales of Drakkenheim rather than continue on with our Shadows of Drakkenheim campaign. So that's going to be on hold until we can get together and actually play in person once again sometime. Hopefully that's soon, but who knows, what time will tell. In any case, for the time being, we are going to be exploring the city of Drakkenheim from the perspective of heroes of the 5 factions of Drakkenheim. And tonight we are continuing the adventures of the cleanup crew, 3 wizards of the Amethyst Academy tasked with exploring and clearing out the remnants of what was left behind by Veo, Sebastian, and Peludo in their initial assault on the shattered tower of the Amethyst Academy. For those of you joining along that have not watched one of our Dungeons & Dragons live play campaigns, such as Dungeons & Drakkenheim, the events of this little mini campaign concern the events that happened around episode 40 of Dungeons of Drakkenheim. Now, there's some spoilers in this episode. If you haven't watched that already, you might pick up some details that you haven't yet seen before. However, this is a bit of a separate, self-contained story as well, so if you haven't watched Dungeons of Drakkenheim yet, you could probably follow along most of the way and get a sense of what it's like to watch us play live. But we do encourage you, if you haven't followed up already, to go back, watch those, and then find these. These will be right up here on YouTube afterwards as well. And of course, you can always find the videos that Kelly and I post every Thursday on our YouTube channel, where we cover everything Dungeons & Dragons, including advice for players and guides for Dungeon Masters. Kelly and I have worked out a format for us to continue making more episodes to post on YouTube, despite the fact that we need to remain remote for the time being.
You can also join us on Tuesday nights when we record the campaign live on Twitch. You could check us out from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. And you can also watch all of the previous episodes from all of our Drakkenheim saga on our YouTube channel as well, which is youtube.com/dungeondudes, no underscore.
Of course, don't forget to take a look at the links below for our Teespring store. You can find all of your favorite Dungeon Dudes merch, including shirts like Troll Killer, and of course some from our new Shadows of Drakkenheim campaign. You can check out bit.ly/Dungeon Dudes merch.
And of course, for all of you watching, we do value your feedback and support. We are still learning how to set up our stream setup in this kind of online format and still getting used to that. So if you do have any insights, observations, or suggestions of how we can improve things, how we can get this running more smoothly, we do value that kind of feedback. So please let us know in a respectful manner, whether here on Twitch chat or on our video comments below. We do read all of them and we do value that kind of feedback. We really want to see if we can make this something that is sustainable and as high quality as our regular streams when we were playing together in person. With that, shall we return to the shattered tower of the Amethyst Academy? Yeah.
Why not?
Awesome. So,
Yes.
we last left 3 wizards of the Amethyst Academy, Rufus Stonewall, Cogsworth B. Copplepot, and Nimble Quill, as they had been commissioned by Aldrick Runeweaver, Grand Master Wizard, to clean up the aftermath of Veo, Sebastian, and Peludo's initial assault on the tower of the Amethyst Academy. This great and imposing building, the tallest in the city of Drakkenheim, still standing despite having a piece of the meteor crash through the midsection of the tower. Our heroes have been commissioned with clearing out and restoring order to the halls of the Amethyst Academy, beginning with the workshop levels that they are now exploring their ways through, finding chambers of alchemical goop, conjured demons, and trapped apprentices, as well as the spell furnace. Our heroes have now found the skeletal remains of the former Proctor of this level of the Academy Tower, there in front of a great apparatus meant to bore a hole through the planes themselves. Though our heroes are very excited about the discoveries and the experiments going on in the Amethyst Academy Tower, will they be able to keep it together in order to focus on their mission of clearing out the rest of the tower? Because I will remind you all that you are, in fact, the ones cleaning up the mess, and any messes that you leave behind are your responsibility. Thus, in the midst of this large room, which has this strange arcane apparatus, something like a crystalline cannon set upon a tripod of obelisks, focusing down a hallway from which a great vaulted barrier is still closed. There you have met with the skeletal skull of Proctor Nestor that you now hold in your hands. Alas, poor Nestor. And the key that installs along the top of this apparatus, which focuses it along its planar destination. What will you do next?
Well, it seems that we have everything that we came for, so I say we return to Aldrick and let him know.
Well, well, hold on. You were sent here to clean it up, and I guess we've kind of left it a bit of a mess.
Where's the mess? We cleaned up the bones. They're all in Rufus's pack.
What about the goop, though?
We don't know that doesn't belong there. That's why we have to ask Aldrick. Maybe that's the goop room. Who are you to say that there isn't a goop room in this tower? You know, the towers off in Sky once had a goop room. It didn't go over well when one of the apprentices went into it and was dissolved alive. I foresaw it, of course, and I warned that apprentice many times, but he didn't listen.
And I don't want that to happen to me either, but, well, it's still a bit of a mess. And I assume your eye wasn't supposed to turn into multiple eyes by going in there, no?
Again? Maybe it was. Maybe that was the right path for my eye to take.
Yeah, we got the replicating room. We got the room of spells and whatnot. But we got to try this thing. We can't go back to Aldrick and not know if this contraption works.
Rufus,
Are you saying you want to try to go to the Feywild?
I'm just saying, I think it's important that we test drive this equipment.
One does not simply test drive one of these devices. If we send you to the Feywild, you'll be gone.
Look, I'll
For
go to the
a long
Feywild.
time.
I'll do a quick just check. And if everything works...
Now, Rufus, you listen here, young man. Now, you might not remember this, but years and years ago, I knew you when you were but yay high well, you know, I'm 3 feet, so I knew you when you were yay high.
You say reaching above your head.
You've been a very promising apprentice in this tower. How old are you now?
Look.
Still so young. You have so much work ahead of you, and you're trying to run off to the Feywild when there is honorable work to do in this tower.
If you can't see that we're on busy work duty, this is work for janitors, not wizards of our class. We are way above this type of nonsense. We're going around cleaning up. They want us to use brooms and our magic is so powerful. We should be exploring and we should be guiding young apprentices. Look,
Rufus, that's why we're here. First of all, the brooms sweep themselves. Second of all,
There is an apprentice in the other room too. I guess we should probably help guide her out of being chained up magically.
they wouldn't
she
have
needs
asked
to
the
learn a
two
lesson.
most
She's a-
esteemed wizards in the
Time out.
academy to help out, which is you and I. And we're teaching little Quill here, although sadly it's going to be his last mission.
And it's Nimble Quill, not Little Quill. Nimble Quill.
Little Quill here, going to die today.
What? Today?
We might as well do all the things that she thinks are fun. He
Cogswell, you need to stop. I feel as if it might not be important to share those minute details with him.
What? Minute details of me dying? That's pretty serious.
You have to understand, little Quill, that my foresight is always a streaming and weaving flow of time and space. So I'm dealing with a lot of probabilities here, but in most cases, yes, you're going to die today, but there's always that chance. So look forward to the silver lining that you could live for
Look,
maybe
Will.
a year, maybe 4.
Only
Seize the day. All right.
All right, I will seize
Look-
the day.
Look to your future, which hopefully is retirement, and you
In the
have
Feywild?
aspirations to be the Archmage, and I can commend that. But what you have to really do is do what I say right now, and that's help me find a power source for this big old crystal gun thing, so we can try it out, because we'd be doing Aldrick a disservice by not making sure this thing was fully operational. It's key to the rebuilding of Drakkenheim.
I mean, we don't know that it's not on this floor, though, right? Right?
Proctor, Nestor, Jaws, chatter. Well, the power source, of course, there's many power sources that all run all the way up and down the tower, but here on this level, we also have what we call the mundane workshop, where we do typical crafting. The elementals are all bound there, and the power source is routed right through that way. Perhaps something's wrong there.
I mean, that's a great start. I mean, if they're on this floor, that means we should definitely take a look. Could be something else that we have to clean.
I'm
I
all
concur.
for making sure it works, but Rufus, you're not stepping through that portal until we're done cleanup, crew.
Let's one step at a time. Cogsworth,
Onward to
let's-
the power source, then.
let's figure out this power
suppose.
source thing.
Do-do-do-do-do.
All right, which way to the power source? Do we know?
Well,
Nestor?
yes. Well, if I recall properly here, we're in the test chamber. Yes, the planar test chamber. And then so on our level here, did you come through the goop room?
Oh, so it is supposed to be the goop room.
Yes, that's where we keep all of our magical goop.
The goop
And
is
it's all-
everywhere.
You keep it on the floor?
Everywhere.
We keep it on this floor. Why, did you say it was on the floor?
Yeah, it's
On the
spilling out everywhere.
That's
I thought maybe it was a beautiful masterpiece of waterfalls and colors. It looked beautiful.
there's no way that
Nice.
makes workplace standards. That's an extreme hazard if the goop room is covered in actual goop. The goop is supposed to be neatly stacked in all of its respective containers and never mixed.
Well,
It's totally mixed.
you say disaster, I say Zen retreat.
I've been around for long enough to know that a lot of those workplace restraints are just to stop wizards from really achieving their true potential. back in my day, you didn't wear safety goggles or you didn't have anything but your own resources. So I think if anything, it's innovation that we've created.
Back in your day.
Nestor says it's a well-known fact that the goggles do nothing, but we still wear them because they're stylish.
Look,
I
Cogsworth,
didn't get
you've
a
been
pair
around
of
long
goggles.
enough before the need for any sort of regulation, and you've turned out just fine.
Absolutely fine.
And
Debatable.
let's be honest, says Nestor. Rufus, I know you wanted to get this portal up and running again, but the reality of it is that you'll definitely need to send some apprentices in first to make sure that you won't get disintegrated when you pass through.
Not me.
Interesting.
I mean, we have an apprentice. She's just locked up.
Fantastic. She'll be a perfect test subject.
Nestor,
you make a fair point.
What are you doing for the next rest of your existence?
Well, I seem to be stuck in my own head.
Perhaps we could give him a fancy necklace and let him live his days in fanciful necklace wonder.
Are you going to put a binding necklace on my neck that is no longer attached to my head?
I thought it might work. Maybe if we drape it over your skull, like a circlet.
Could we put his body back together? Like his bones are in a body.
I can mend your neck and head,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna remove what is left of his spine from my backpack, and I'm going to place his head on the spine, and I'm gonna cast mending.
The spine and the skull attach, and the spine actually starts to move on the back of the with the rest of the skull.
Nestor, stand up straight, would you?
He straightens his spine.
Ah, it's a perfect walking staff now. It's excellent.
Wait, no, attach my arms.
We'll leave it like this for now, I think.
Cogsworth,
Yes.
we must restore him to some semblance of a man, and I'm gonna continue to attach piece by piece.
I'll help. I have mending as well. I'll help.
And we'll just start putting them back together.
As you mend Proctor Nestor back together, he is now a skeleton standing around, and he says, "My body! Oh, I'm all put back together. This is fantastic. I always wanted to lose weight. And now I guess I'm bone thin, but..."
Well, you're as skinny as you've ever been.
I don't think you could be skinnier. Now, anyway, on to the trap. I mean, where are we going?
Nestor says,
What?
"You wouldn't happen to have any material components for any spells, would you?"
I have a whole bag of them.
I
What
mean,
do
what
you
kind
need?
are you looking for?
Just a few extras. Maybe I can get some old magic flowing back through these bones.
I have an idea, friends. Maybe we have Nestor take a dip in the goop.
What?
I don't know.
You see
gave so much
Cogsworth's
power
head
to,
start to like shake.
Listen, I've been
the probabilities.
The arcane eye.
I've just been spending the past 15 years on the floor as a pile of bones, and I've been finally reattached together, and you want me to go be your test subject? No way!
I thought that's what the apprentice is for.
Exactly!
That's why we should use you to get the apprentice out, and then we can test anything on the apprentice. Although Elder asked for the apprentice back, so...
But he also asked for Proctor back.
You said Aldrick Runeweaver's here.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to go report to him then. If I've got my body back, then I'm going back there. I don't need to stay here 1 minute longer.
Well... We still need your help to figure out what other rooms are in here, right? Right, guys?
I've been stuck in
Please
this room
accompany us.
for 15 years. I think.
Tell you what, at least point us to the room with the power source, and then we'll be on our way, and we'll meet you back with Aldrick. Mission accomplished.
Well,
Should we write you like a piece of paper or something that has like
Ah, Pen,
You're not
yes, I'd
an
love.
evil undead. You're a good undead.
Yes, indeed. And he, going through the paperwork and the books and the quills and ink pens that are in this room, he scratches out a rough map of the rest of the level for you, indicating that the overall construction of the level is a loop. That the room that you are in is the center of this level, and all the other rooms go back around it. And so as you loop around, the chambers on the other side, on the west side, include the mundane fabrication chambers, as well as another chamber which is immediately opposite the spell furnace, called the spell forge. So there's the spell forge and the spell furnace, the mundane fabrication workshop, and then he notes the goop room, the alchemical storage chamber on the other side. And finally he points out that the next level above is the spell battle gym as well.
Interesting. Well, so you're gonna go back though to Aldrick, right?
Yes, that's my intent.
Well, aren't you afraid that he's gonna blow your bones apart if he sees you?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna make him a name tag,
Yeah.
Nestor, and I'm just gonna pin it onto his like rib cage.
And let me just clean you up for a sec. And I press to digitate, just to clean up his bones a bit, just so you look like super fresh.
Fantastic.
For them down there. You never know.
And just to complete the look, I rifle through my bags and I pull out a nice summer hat and I put it on him. There, now you look a little less scary.
Fantastic.
Hopefully
You're
they don't blow
welcome.
you up.
Thank you.
So, Rufus, where are we going?
He says, up from here, the next couple levels all tend to have a specialization on one of the schools of magic. So the spell battle chamber is shared by the abjurers and the evokers. But then there's the transformation chambers for the transmuters, the morgue for the necromancers, the elemental vortex, which is also for the evocation specialists, the interrogation rooms for the enchanters, of course, the theater of illusions for the illusionist. We used to call that one the holodeck, but seemed a bit of an antiquated term. The scrying pools, and, of course, the chambers of warding. So there's all the different rooms for the various disciplines are all from these levels forward, although we'll see what state they're in.
And you said that some of your stuff was in your room, right?
Yes. Those would be in the upper parts of the tower, of course. In the residences.
Okay. Interesting.
Very well.
Well, if we find this power source, we can continue our journey. We'll have to check in with. Tell Aldrick to
Drop us
contact.
a line.
Yeah, check in with us because we're so busy colliding.
Very well. With that, Nestor heads back towards the elevators. Good luck. Hopefully you can get this place back into good working order. And then once the power source is all rigged up, we can open up that portal.
Wonderful.
All right, let's go see if we can find those elementals.
All right. So, from the rough map that you have now, you know that there are the mundane fabrication chambers and the spell forge are on the western side of the chambers.
Where would you like to head first? We've already been to the spell furnace.
Yes.
Should we go to the spell forge? Is that the power source? I'm a little confused on how this whole tower works. I'm looking at the map. Upside down.
And backwards. Like you're actually looking at the back of the map.
Can either of you make sense of this? My divination magic seemed to show it more as a blank slate.
It's probable, given the way most Academy towers function, that restoring the power for the portal experimentation chamber probably relies on the power grid across this entire floor being restored.
We must then check out the Spellforge, and I guess Quill, you probably have to start cleaning up the goop soon.
I mean, hopefully with your help.
No, I have it here.
Howard.
Quill.
Check
Goop
the
room.
writing, Cogsworth.
Yeah, so far we have you eager to clean the goop.
Listen,
we
I'll
have
take
you-
point on it, but I hope y'all will join me, at least if I get eaten by the goop or if something happens with the goop.
To the
You'll be there to help me.
Spellforge.
To the Spellforge.
To the Spellforge.
Okay. Heading down the hallway to the west, past the roughly purple-gray flagstones of the floors and the obsidian walls that pass by, the dancing lights that light the halls still erratically flicker as you move through. Some of them are still in place, some of them have gone out. And you come to, down the hallways, it ends in a singular door. The doors themselves, like all the others, these kind of wide oaken doors that slide in one direction or another to open them up. And sliding the door open, the room before you is a little bit larger than the spell furnace room and is of similar construction. It comes up to a domed ceiling. But in the center of the room is this large stone altar with metal rims all about it that have all been covered in 8 sectioned runes, each rune marking one of the 8 different schools of magic. And the way that the altar is built is that it forms almost a horseshoe with each of the rooms, and then there are 2 hammers that are on the ground on top, resting beside this horseshoe-shaped altar. There is a chair in the middle of the altar itself. So again, it forms like a horseshoe-like desk with a chair in the middle of it with these 2 hammers resting beside them. The hammers themselves look to be made of pure silver. And the metal plates are suspended, floating a little bit above the stone of the altar itself. Resting on the chair is this strange helmet that appears to consist of a headband and these 2 large cups that would rest over one's ears. And then all of these cables come down from the ceiling into the headset. All throughout the rest of the room are all of these circular discs that all have these arms scanning on top of them across all the walls. And then there are several tubes all around the chamber as well that are fluttering with this green light that raises up, and as it raises up the tube, it turns yellow, and then in some places it turns red.
Ah, this is my favorite thing in the whole tower. And I run over and I'm going to take the earpieces and put them on.
Okay, you put the helmet on. And as you put the helmet on, your eyes glow. The 2 of you see Cogsworth's eyes immediately light up with this crackling energy. And Cogsworth, you feel this sonic sound shuddering into your head, and you can make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, wait, that's just going to be... Okay. All right. 18.
18. There's this thunderous noise coming out of the cups, and you take 8 points of thunder damage, but you are not deafened by it. But it's this loud ringing that sounds like the sounds of raw magic coming in through the headset.
I casually take the headphones off. A little bit of blood comes out of my ears, and I turn to the other two. I'm like, have either of you two ever experienced raw magic? It's great.
I
More
want to
blood.
look around the room and where is the red? Is there any that are showing like the green, yellow, the green tubes that go to yellow and red? Are they also in line with the different schools of magic?
Yes,
Like
they are. And in fact, there's 8 tubes for each of the schools of magic. So in total, there's 64 tubes.
Wow.
Are any of the schools of magic displaying more red than others?
All of them right now are humming all the way through. And in fact, as you watch it, it's almost like a wave of energy is moving across all the tubes.
And
I
the
want you.
tubes are-
Is there like? Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say the tubes are connected to, like, what in terms of the pieces of schools of magic? What are they connected to?
They're along the walls, corresponding. This is a circular chamber. So when you sit on the chair, the runes on the altar correspond to the glass tubes on the wall.
Okay.
Is there any sort of dial or switch assembly in the room?
Well, there does not appear to be any sort of dial or switch looking through the rest of the room. You can see the tubes all along, and there are the runic markings along each of the platforms, and then there's the 2 hammers.
I go up to the conjuration section,
Mm-hmm.
and I cast Mage Hand, and I get the Mage Hand to touch the tubes.
Yeah.
Does anything happen?
The mage hand, as you bring the mage hand towards the tubes, there is this sparkling reaction, and other runes appear floating in the air around the mage hand.
Hey guys, the magic! I did the magic!
You've never been in a spell forge before?
Never.
Ah. I came in here a few times, hundreds of years ago. I think I remember how it works.
What was that? What was that last part?
Nothing, Rufus. Wait.
Well, a spellforge, Cogsworth, you recall that a spellforge is a very, very difficult instrument to use in an academy tower, because a spellforge is an arcane device meant to aid in the creation of new spells. And by playing the runes and tuning the runes and the resonance of all the spells and using your own arcane focus, you can experiment with the right resonant frequencies and the components to create a brand new spell. And in fact, you can actually see that there are, looking down in the console, there are actually drawers that allow you to insert material components underneath each respective drawer, and then the discs etch the incantations that you are creating. And so by tuning the Spellforge and tuning the arcane magic and incanting your own words and practicing your own gestures using your mage hand, you can practice the arcane formula that are necessary to create a brand new spell. However, Cogsworth, from what you can recall, very few mages are able to successfully utilize a Spellforge. It requires centuries to properly master. You think you remembered creating spells using a Spellforge several hundred years ago, but in fact, you're not quite sure what those spells might have been and how you might have done it.
You know, guys, I once used one of these chambers to create a spell. You may have heard of it. It's known as polymorph.
Oh wow.
What? You made polymorph.
Let me just check my facts on that, but I'm pretty sure I made it. I'm at least 45% sure.
Okay,
That's not
Cogsworth.
bad.
It's time that you learn how to really tell if someone's going to live or die. I want you to sit in the chair.
Go on. I'm listening. You've intrigued me.
And we funnel the powers of divination and necromancy into your brain.
I see no downside to this.
Now, there are two doorways leading out of this chamber. One directly behind the opening in the horseshoe, behind the chair, and one opposite the doorway that led into this chamber.
Should we make sure it's in working order before we move on?
Yeah, definitely.
We have to
before we
test
start
the equipment.
experimenting.
Guys, I've done this a million times. Just tell me once you've tuned it, and I'll put what do I need to do? In the chair?
Wait,
Put the headphones?
You're the one that knows how to use it.
I said I've been in here millions of times. I always had an older wizard help me. Sadly, most of the older wizards are dead now, so it's been about 250 years since I've actually been into a spell
Not
forge.
unlike the spell furnace, the result of using the spell forge is that the prepared spell is sent into your mind, and then the chamber behind you likely leads into a test chamber where you can unleash the magic of the spell in some way, shape, or form. So this allows you to prepare a new spell, and then the other chamber nearby would allow you to test the results.
Little Quill, I assume that you're far too young to prepare and make such incredible spells. Rufus, if you wouldn't mind, conjure up a little spell, and I'll make sure this room's in working order. Go on.
I'm flipping through my my book here.
You know, I used to say a good wizard can never retire until they've mastered the art of crafting their own spells. Don't you agree, Rufus?
Yes.
And
So the place to start, if you wish to use the Spellforge, is that you start with a spell that you already know, and you release it from your mind into the Spellforge, and then you can modify it in other ways. And quite literally, if you want to try using the Spellforge, you can propose any way that you want to modify an existing spell, and you can certainly try it.
Oh my god, guys, I have so many ideas.
Making a spell from scratch in the Spellforge is certainly possible, but when you deal with such unrestrained possibility, the results can be very, very dangerous.
Flaming mage hand. Flaming mage hand.
If I could adapt my Find Familiar spell to make an octopus that can breathe outside of water, me and Archibald could go on many walks together.
Yes. The old walking octopus. And I'm going to start casting water breathing into the transmutation as a ritual. I'm going to start to push the spell into the runes.
So the spell water breathing is in the runes. And as you begin playing around with it, the energy of the spell is contained within. What else do you want to try next?
Copperpot. Gotta do your Find Familiar.
Yes, if we mix Find Familiar with water breathing, perhaps we can make familiars that can breathe inside. Wait, my octopus can already breathe inside of water. What are you going for, Rufus?
I was thinking.
Sounds good. I sit in the chair and put the headphones back on. Lay it on me, Rufus. Lay it on me.
Phantom Steed. And I want to cast Phantom Steed in the illusion.
Okay.
It could be, what if we create a octopus that you can ride?
Okay, so with Phantom Steed and Water Breathing and Find Familiar in place in the Spellforge, how powerful do you want to make this spell?
It's going to be a second level.
Okay. So, because you are all now working together to do this, first what I'd like you to do is all of you can roll me a spellcasting ability check.
I might have this backwards.
Is the modifier?
Yeah. Plus your proficiency.
So it'd be proficiency plus modifier plus roll, right? 21.
21. I have
20.
Okay.
Close.
And now all of you can roll me a d6.
I got a 6.
2.
I got a 6.
Okay. So, the energy of the spell, of the three spells, as Cogsworth focuses his mind in on, and Cogsworth, you're the linchpin of this whole thing. As the power of illusion, of transmutation, and conjuration begin to go all into overdrive. They all ramp right up. And this is producing a prodigious effect. Cogsworth, the spell that you have crafted, well, you tried to set it for a second level spell. It's going to be coming in off the charts, and it's in your mind, and it seems like it might have this familiar power of what it was to cast a 9th level spell is now in your mind.
I've forgotten how good these spells can feel.
And you are charged with this energy, and the result of this spell seems to be calling upon a prodigious creature of terrible and ancient power.
Well, let's go into the other room and cast it. Cogsworth?
All right. So the spell is now in my head, but I don't know what it is yet.
You have a sense for what it is. It is going to conjure this powerful creature of the depths. This combination, a true steed of the ancient underwater realms, this powerful creature of octopus, steed, and watery powers.
How do you feel, Cogsworth?
Do I feel like the spell needs to leave, or like am I like overwhelmed with it, or can I contain it?
Make a concentration check.
What did we do?
I got a 17.
Okay. Yeah, it's coming out. It's
I jump up from the
this
table.
Is the act of
like,
birthing a spell.
My face, like as I have the headphones on and I'm sitting in the chair and the spell finishes and I go, I think I can, and then all of a sudden I make the same face you make when like diarrhea hits you. And I just stand up and I run to the other room. And the other room is where you test the spells, we assume, right? I run
Shuffling
in.
behind.
I like shuffle and I slam the door on the two of you.
Okay, you open the door. The door that opens up actually is on the outer wall of the building. So the doorway opens up into an extra dimensional space. It is a field of just the most base elements. So it is a island of earth in a sea of water with a fiery sun in the sky. So the raw elements are simply contained in this test chamber. And you feel the energy of the spell, because all that is in this room are various test subjects, which the test subjects in this room are about 17 bunny rabbits that are just hopping about in the room that are meant to be used as target practice for the spells. If you need a creature to target with your spell.
As I run into the room, I actually I pull the big orb off of my back and open it up, and Artemis the octopus spills out onto the floor, and my eyes start glowing as I stare at him, and I'm like, Artemis, it's time to level up. And I start exploding with magical energies, and I lift into the air, and I imagine that energy is just crackling off of me as I expel the spell from my entire being.
There is a shattering display of arcane power as the energy of the spell flows into Artemis, who begins to balloon in size as tentacles spill upon tentacles, and a massive maw appears, gigantic fins, and Artemis grows into these proportions as these planar energies flow into its body. You realize, of course, now the true nature of what the spell has become. It is Conjure Kraken.
Write it?
Close on us.
And this massive creature, gargantuan in size, spills out over this massive tentacles with this maw of teeth, the smell of the deep salt of the ocean upon it, massive fins as it careens back. The creature bellows out.
Artemis, I'm not sure how I'm going to keep you fed at this size. Could you get back into your orb, please?
The creature roars and screams and convulses. It's getting bigger.
I pop open the door and just poke my head out, and I'm like, I'm having some issues.
If you need more
Cobblepot opens the door.
Quill can go get some.
And of course, on your side, Cobblepot, it's just a doorway in the middle of an empty island surrounded by water. And so you open the doorway, and the Nimble Quill and Rufus, you see Cogsworth open the door, and you just see this field of massive tentacles and the smell of sea and fish. And Cogsworth is there, and several of the tentacles are already grasping in through the doorway as well.
Well, how's he gonna fit in your backpack now?
Octopuses, they can compress. Artemis, compress. Artemis, are you hungry, boy?
No, don't ask him that.
And I pull you back through into the room.
Okay.
I'm just like, nope.
Cogsworth, you have a sense that you still have some modicum of control over this creature. But you need to make a concentration check to maintain it.
I got a 17, and I'm actually going to stop concentrating. Actually, can I maintain my concentration to keep control, but can I cease its conjuration? Can I do what I do with Find Familiar and
the spell? The results of the spell, you've relinquished control, and the tether that of your mind that keeps the spell in effect is gone. But how long that creature is going to remain in there is anyone's guess at this stage.
Can I conjure Artemis back, or is he that creature now?
You can try.
Not in this room.
Just as I need to get my octopus back, and I start trying to bring Artemis back in his regular form.
Okay. As you spend the hour, and Artemis does reappear, but it is a different color.
Well, looks good on you, old chap. And I stick him back in the orb and sling it back onto my back. Anyway, everything seems to be in working order here. Don't go in that room.
The whole
I
hour
wouldn't
as
go
you're
in there
casting
for
the
at
spell,
least
you're
10
hearing this
minutes.
pounding on the door from the other side.
Oh.
Is there a button to vacate the extra planar dimension? I'm looking around for like a switch or a lever to like dispel the magic in
The
there.
new familiar that's appeared, Rufus and Nimblequill, you look upon this new familiar that Cogsworth has summoned, and you ever have that thing where you went on vacation and your pet cat died and your parents replaced it with a really similar looking cat, but you know it's not the same cat?
Yeah.
I think you're gonna have to rename this one. I don't know if he's was it Artemis, Archimedes, some.
You look
Listen,
ancient.
little Quill.
Nimble Quill.
Sorry, Nimble Quill. This is like the 400th Artemis I've had.
Oh,
He's always changing. One time he was a badger.
wow.
Anyway, he's fine. I don't need to. Artemis version 475, I believe.
So Cogsworth, would you say it's a success? Have we...
I'd say this room is completely successful. Not an issue in the world as the door bangs behind me.
The door bangs behind
tentacles
you.
barely.
Rufus, you receive a message in your mind. It's a sending spell from Aldrick Runeweaver. And Aldrick says, Rufus, are you messing around with things up there, or are you cleaning things up?
Oh. Oh yes, we're just working in the spell forge. It's tip top shape. We're gonna go clean up the goop. There's goop now, and I hope Nestor is okay.
Nestor's fine for a skeleton.
Yes, we patched him right up.
Aldrick, am I on this line too?
No,
or
it
am I
was just
talking to my own?
one sending spell to Rufus.
I'm off in the corner being like, Aldrick? Aldrick?
Now there was a different door in this room,
Yeah.
right?
That's
Guys,
the one that I ran through.
No, there's two other doors, right?
Yes, there was the door that Cogsworth went through that led to the demiplane where the spells can be tested. And then there's another room that goes back into the main complex.
Okay.
We should head back.
Well, there's
Aldrick is busy. He's kind of checking in on us, and I think we should make some progress. At least so then we can move on to the next level.
Do we just
get you in
leave?
trouble?
Do we just leave former Archie?
I mean, we'll have to go in there, I guess, and clean that room too now.
There's got to be a dispel button here.
Don't put my name on that one.
I have it.
Anything. Yeah.
What if we made a spell that helps us clean up all of these messes? Let's see
Brilliant.
here.
Prestidigitation, mending. Can we mix cantrips using this device?
You can try. Yes.
Okay, I have it.
I got prestidigitation.
Animate objects, prestidigitation, and banishment. That should do fine.
So I will
cleanup
say,
spell.
so
It's
you
like a bleach.
have worked at the Spellforge now. The amount of time that you spent working at the Spellforge to produce that effect was the product of at least several hours of work. So if you want to continue making another spell, you'll the mind of a mage can only produce effects from the Spellforge only once per day. So creating another spell, you at the very least need a rest.
We really.
I think we
wasted
can.
that
Yeah.
one.
I think we can clean it up on our own without creating some scary spell.
Are you sure you think that, Quill?
Yeah, I'm not cleaning
All
up
right.
the Kraken room.
Kraken room, I'm putting you next to it.
No.
You seem
Yes,
very
right,
eager.
Yes. Yeah. Make sure. Quill.
Oh.
Yes.
Nimble Quill, clean up Kraken. Check mark. This room is accounted for.
To the mundane room.
Yeah.
The mundane room.
See if we
Nothing can
find
go wrong there.
The power room. Go over to the mundane room.
Okay. So the doorway opens up back into a long hallway that extends all the way down the length of the tower. This is an outer hallway, and there are several windows along this room that look out over onto the city of Drakkenheim.
I like this room. Good view.
Some of them produce balconies as well, and there are several doors along the hallway. 3 sets of doorways equally spaced down the hallway.
So 3 sets of doors.
My
I go up-
foresight. Okay,
I go
go
to
ahead.
the first one and I listen.
Yeah, the first set of doors is clearly has a sign on it that says spell component storage, no apprentices allowed, without explicit permission.
I open the door.
Inside is a chamber that is filled floor to ceiling. This chamber extends back at least the length of the tower, impossibly so, because it would take it across other rooms in the tower. And the room itself is a long catwalk that extends down the length of the tower to another doorway on the opposite side. And then the rest of the room is a cylinder of drawers that slowly rotates. And each of the drawers is marked with a small description of what is contained inside. And then along the entirety of the catwalk are several switches that allow you to control the rotation of the whole room.
Well, I say we give it a rotate and see if it's in working order, but no need to mess around too much. Everything seems fine here.
And you said there was another door right at the end?
Yes. Yep.
All right, you give those the room a whirl. I'm gonna go check out this other door.
And I shuffle down to the opposite side.
The
And open
door
the door.
opens up back into the hallway that leads into the spell forge, or the spell furnace.
Oh.
This was, and as where the door opens up, it is at a point where that mural of the elemental creature that you passed by before, the doorway is where that mural is painted on.
Can I take the room for a whirl and actually try rotating it around, making sure that there's no issues?
Yeah, the whole room rotates back and forward, and all the spells are labeled in alphabetical order, and inside each drawer are several when you open a drawer up, it contains several neat pouches that contain enough material components for that spell.
Well, everything seems working here, so I'm just going to put myself in charge of cleaning this room. Cogsworth. Check mark. I am done my task.
Well done, Cogsworth.
Ahead of schedule as usual.
This seems a little unfair.
Nimble Quill, you best keep up. You have many rooms left to clean. Rufus, you're doing okay.
Okay, let's just. And I frustratedly like push you both out into the hall. I'm like, if I have so much, we only have so much time, and I gotta get these rooms cleaned. Let's finish finding them and.
I have a very bad feeling about this next door, Nimble Quill. I'd best be careful. You best let Rufus check it out.
Come on, Cogsworth. They can't all be bad. And I'm just going to open the door.
Cool. The room opens up into a large chamber, some 40 feet by 40 feet in size. In this chamber, there is a large blacksmith's forge with bellows, a large anvil, a workbench, and a well of water. At first glance, all of these things seem completely mundane, but each of them is marked. The anvil is marked with a rune of elemental earth, the bellows with a rune of elemental air, the well, elemental water, and the forge itself marked with a rune of elemental fire. All along the walls are a myriad of tools that could be used for almost any crafting purpose. Any tool that you could conceive of, any sort of requirements that you would need to build anything, everything from needles to hammers to tongs to paintbrushes, and there are sets of paints as well. Every conceivable tool is hung along the walls, which extend up to the ceiling some 80 feet. And then there are sections of ladders that, like the shelves of a library, but a library that instead of stocking books, stocks tools of some kind.
Is the furnace active, or does it seem quiet?
The furnace is quiet. And then on another table, there is a table in the room that has several spheres of clay about 6 inches in diameter.
Is this the power source? Or is this just the building room? Is there a sign?
No, in fact, it seems like the runes, the furnace is not lit, the well is empty, the bellows are closed, and the anvil is an anvil.
I sense a lack of elemental energies in this room. This room used to contain much more magic than it does now. My clairvoyance is telling me this.
The one with fire, the symbol for fire, is it the anvil?
It is
the furnace.
Forge itself.
The furnace. I go up to the forge and I'm like, well, I mean, we can always try just putting the elements back in, and I firebolt the forge.
Okay. The casting firebolt upon the rune of elemental fire causes it to light up with flame, and the energy of the spell swirls through the room, and as it does so, it takes on a greater energy, and the furnace is beginning to stoke itself up, and the fire that is emerging almost has a face within it, like there is a fire elemental that has just been woken up by the casting of your spell, but it's still being stoked up.
I'm going to give it a couple of shots with the bellows.
The bellows itself, as you go to turn the bellows, there's no air coming out of the bellows.
Huh.
I go up to the bellow and I just blow on it. Oh, I got this.
Nothing happens.
Oh.
I cast, what is it? I don't know if this is much better, but I do a puff of wind with prestidigitation. I'm just like,
yes.
As you create the puff of wind with prestidigitation, there's the bellows fill for a moment, but it's as if the energy of the spell wasn't focused and specialized enough to catch the rune.
Nimblequill, could you do me a favor?
Yeah, of course.
Could you head into the previous room and grab me the material components for Gust of Wind?
Yeah, of course. And I go back in and I find in the round room
Okay.
all the components and I bring them back.
Now, I guess I can't. If I have the spell available in my wand, do I know it?
You could certainly try, but do you have the spell prepared?
No, it's just in my wand.
Mm-hmm. Well, it would be really handy if there was some sort of place you could go to change what spells you have prepared.
The other room.
No, Quill, you're just talking nonsense.
No. You can force it into your mind and it gets it ready. Oh,
Let's
and I
see
start to
here.
shuffle.
Maybe
I start
we
to
can create
shuffle.
some wind somehow.
Okay, we need fire, wind, water, and earth. What spells does everybody have that could allow us to reactivate this room?
Guys, if we go into the other room, we can see what spells are on the wall. I mean, you already got Cone of Cold, but what else? What other spells could be gust in there? Could be something with water, and because we already have the fire. I mean, I got plenty of fire.
To the spell furnace.
Yeah.
Okay, so you
I'm
head
starting to
back to the
shuffle
spell
over.
furnace, which I believe all of you already used the spell furnace to prepare
All of us took
Cone of Cold.
I
So
did.
you could attempt to use it again,
Uh-oh.
but the backlash of overusing it may fracture your mind.
I'll go first.
Well,
Just
I
put them
haven't- I
all in
haven't used
here.
it yet. I haven't used it yet. I
Okay.
saved it.
So Nimble
Just in
Quill,
case.
what spell would you like to pull out from the spell furnace?
Well, what spells do we? So we have fire. We need air. Do we have water? Anybody have water?
I could Cone of Cold, and someone could
Melt.
use fire to make it water.
I also have a tank of water on my back. It's not magical, but if we used control water or something of that sort, I do have a water source. Archibald might not like it, but
And I mean, I have a conjure elemental gem that we could get another elemental from.
what kind of elemental?
I believe Earth.
I believe
bel-
so.
Yes.
I believe it was Earth, yeah. Could
It's
we
yellow.
just get that?
That's Earth. We need water.
And air.
As I look on the walls, what do we have any spells that fall into those categories?
Yeah. Looking around, you find that there are spells such as Conjure Water, Gust of Wind, Earth Tremor, Transmute Rock to Mud, and Fireball, of course. So there are various elemental spells contained around here.
What do you think, guys? Gust or conjure water? What do you think we could do? What can't we do without the spells that we already
I'll
have?
take whatever one you don't. Don't worry. I've done this many, many times, and my mind is absolutely top-notch.
All right.
Carsworth, maybe you set this one out.
Somebody has to do it, Rufus, and you're just waiting to walk through that portal, so I'm not really asking much of you now, am I?
I'll do a gust of wind. I remember learning about it in my school days, and I found it easier just to wait for wind than to conjure it. But if need be, I can take it on one more time.
Very well. If you... Rufus, this course of action could lead to your demise and early retirement, if you understand my meaning.
If you mean early retirement, then sign me up.
You do know we're on the same page right now, right?
Absolutely. And
All right. Go ahead.
the spell furnace. How does it work again? Do I sit?
Yeah, you place your hands on the glass orb.
Oh,
and
yes.
Pull the lever of the spell that you want to pull into your mind.
So we're going to put Gust of Wind into his mind and then Control Water into yours,
Okay.
Nimble Quill.
Okay.
So, Rufus, you can make a Constitution saving throw.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
He'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. 26.
Okay, so you succeed with flying colors, but you do still take 8 points of psychic damage from bringing in the spell. But you now have the Gust of Wind spell prepared, and you can cast it using one of your spell slots as normal.
Ow, I'm ready.
And your turn, Nimble Quill.
And you said it was control water?
Was it Control Water?
Or
Create
There's
Water?
also Tidal Wave.
That seems a little aggressive.
so is control water. It's all aggressive.
I mean, you could just take some of the water and move it to the well.
Let's try your backpack. I don't think your familiar
The
needs all
risk
that
is
water.
commensurate with the level of the spell. So Tidal Wave is a 3rd level spell, is slightly less riskier to try to bring into your mind than Control Water.
Okay, do Tidal Wave.
All right.
Your little mind can't handle these advanced things.
I sit in the chair. I'm like, tidal wave.
I pull the
Okay,
levers.
Quill, make a Constitution saving throw.
20.
Okay, you succeed as well. However, you still will take half the psychic damage, which will...
Even though it's my first
Oh,
time.
you haven't used it at all yet. Oh, then in
No.
this case, no, you have the spell Tidal Wave prepared then.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't do one the last time.
Okay, I thought you did, but I...
No, we talked her out of it and then told her that she wasn't advanced enough and
Okay.
then left the room.
Okay. So, with that, you now have your new spells prepared. What will you do next?
Back to elementalize the room.
As you head back, each of you can roll me a d6.
4.
2.
All right,
2.
sounds good. You head back towards the mundane fabrication chamber, bristling with your new spells. What will you do?
So we need better than a cantrip is what I've gathered. So who has a better fire spell than a cantrip?
Oh, I thought Firebolt worked because it was fire. No?
I thought that the fire elemental looked like he wasn't strong enough. That was the impression I got, Monty. Is that correct?
As you return, the fire has petered out.
Oh, I have fireball.
Well, everybody stand back. Cast fireball into the furnace. It's going to work. I've done this before, and I have also foreseen the future.
I'm getting behind Cogsworth.
I'm just double checking that I
get
don't have
behind
anything.
Nimble Quill.
Okay. So
I ring my
Okay.
little bell.
and then you see my pupils like just dilate to the biggest that they can, and then
Cool, so...
Fireball
Okay,
to the
so
fire.
you cast the fireball spell, and as you do so, the energy of the spell pulls out from your hands. You cast the spell as normal, and is pulled into the rune, almost like a twisting vortex. And as it does so, the furnace sparks up, and the furnace sparks up, and the energy of the spell grows into the shape of a fire elemental. And it turns to you, and it looks around the rest of the chamber almost expectantly.
Hi.
Continue working, sir.
It
You have a job
goes
to do.
and sits inside the furnace and just burns there politely.
There we go. All right, next.
I cast Gust of Wind into the bellows, forcing air into the furnace.
As the gust of wind forms around the bellows, the energy of the wind spell transforms, as before, into an air elemental. And it stands before you, flittering and fluttering expectantly.
Into the bellows you go to work with you.
Steps inside.
All right, one more time. And I'm like, I'm jazzed up by this. So I'm like, ring! And then I tidal wave into the
Once again, the
fountain?
water of the spell flies into the air and takes the shape of a water elemental who deposits itself into the well promptly, sloshing about.
Get to work.
I feel like I'm creating amazing magic. I never knew I had this power.
And now, is it time? Do we want to use the earth elemental this way, or should we just use a spell? The earth elemental could be very handy.
Well, what do we have a spell to make Earth?
I'm looking through my notes in my pocket here. It would appear not. Do we go back to the furnace? Does anybody have an earth spell?
Not on me. I guess we'll have to use them.
Let's use the old. We can give this earth elemental a fine job.
Do I have to
like a
smash
wish, but I'll allow
the
it.
gem?
Yeah.
Smash it with a hammer on the anvil.
I'm
Or
like,
do
no
whatever you want.
way! And I smash it to the ground with excitement.
The
And
earth
ringing the
elemental
bell as it
appears, and as it does so, the form of its body reshapes, and its fists turn into hammers, and it goes over beside the anvil expectantly.
To work with you.
Now what are they supposed to do?
Well, we're going to find out. Probably build
As
something
the
for
four
me.
elemental creatures all take shape, the bellows blows elemental air into the forge, which is powered by elemental fire, the pure elemental water of the water elemental in the well, and the earth elemental hammering on the anvil. The entire chamber thrums once again with energy. The lights raise up, and all of a sudden, all the tools in the room bristle, and small little legs and arms appear in all the various tools. And they all kind of reorganize themselves, and some of the tools that were scattered about the floor jump back up onto the walls to set themselves up where they were meant to belong. And as the whole chamber thrums back to life, several arcane runes collect themselves into the center of the chamber, and the tools jump out into the room, and all these molds come out on the wall, and the tools begin building things and start constructing various bits of jewelry, weapons, and armor, and start stacking them up and loading them into carts and building completely mundane objects. But they all sort of begin constructing anything that you might need in the room. And you get the sense that there are actually unseen servants in the room aiding and helping this process, pulling out the materials from the storage containers and fashioning whatever goods might be needed by the Amethyst Academy.
This spell seems to be in perfect working order. Rufus, this one was yours, so I'm putting a check mark next to it. Excellent work today.
This is the mundane
yes.
crafting chamber. And by as long as the materials are at hand, the elementals and the animated tools in this chamber can, as a suite of master craftsmen fashion anything the Amethyst Academy might require.
Excuse me, elemental servants. I could use a fresh mochaccino.
The elemental voices grumble up in primordial and say, "This is a workshop, not a kitchen. Go downstairs."
This is so much different than the workshop we had in Sky. I used to get them to make me mochachinos all the time.
Well done. I think we can mark this off the list.
Yes.
At least put my initials on there. NQ.
Nimblequill, don't be greedy. You have 3 rooms next to with your name next to them. We only have 1 each. We're trying to carry our weight here.
I mean, if you want to take one of the other rooms, you can. At least I got.
No, you're a young wizard with lots of hopes and dreams. I would not want to take that away from you.
There's a 3rd door. Let's go check it out. That can be your room. Whatever's in that 3rd door, it's yours, Nimblequill.
All right.
You said there were 3 doors, right? I go to the 3rd door and I listen.
Okay. The 3rd door is very simply labeled "Stairs to the Battle Gym. Apprentices proceed only with permission of a senior instructor."
I quickly minor illusion solid stone where the sign was, and I turn to the 2 of you. I'm like, "I believe behind this door we will find a staircase to the higher levels. That is what I have predicted." And I open the door.
Indeed, there are a set of stairs beyond that lead up to the level above.
Behold my divine powers.
We saw you cast it, and I just walked past you.
Oh, I guess before we
You
go,
were really loud.
Are we
You were really
leaving
loud.
this
You did a lot of
floor?
movement.
we're not.
with your hand.
Rufus, come back.
Huh?
We still need to deal with the goop.
We still need to deal with the goop, and then maybe that apprentice. I don't know.
All right.
Back to the.
I think
Before
we take on the goop.
Let's go to the goop room. I have an idea. Nimblequill, this will be a lesson for you in magic.
I'm ready.
Okay. So
Always
instead of
willing
going
to
up to the
teach.
battle gym, you're going to head over to the goop room once more?
Yes, we seemingly have to take care
Alrighty.
of it.
Well,
so-
in that case, before we move a little bit further, I think this is a great time for us to take a break. And we are back from our little break. Yeah! Everyone get some good eats on?
Oh yeah, snacks, all the snacks.
Chili.
Jill, why don't you go first with your?
Don't forget to take a look at the links below for our Teespring store, where you can find all of your favorite Dungeon Dudes t-shirts. Don't forget the new Dusk Wardens, but of course all our favorites like Yes 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 and Troll Killer at bit.ly/Dungeon Dudes merch.
Also, if you are enjoying the stream and you would like to help support our work, please check us out on Patreon. We have the links in the links below, or you can find it at patreon.com/dungeon_dudes. And a lot of what we're doing right now is made possible by the patrons. Our ability to be able to continue this game ongoing in a digital format is all thanks to you guys and being able to allow us to get the right gear and stuff to kind of make this all come to life and continue to provide you guys with entertainment. So if you do want to help support us, check us out on Patreon. And the best part of that is we also have a phenomenal Discord community. So if you do join our Patreon, you get access to our Discord, where you can come and actually talk to the whole group here. Even Kyle is on there, and you can chat with all of us about all things D&D, all things nerdy, all things Drakkenheim, and anything else that you want to talk to us about. So join us on Patreon and join us on Discord. Thank you.
Fantastic. And with that, we will dive right back into the ruins of the Academy Tower, where, having restored the power to the mundane fabrication workshop, our heroes now will plan to return to the ominously and accurately named Goop Room.
So, here we are at the goop room.
Yeah.
And I kind of
So, as
peek
you
my head in.
recall, this large chamber has a single central vat. And surrounding the chamber are all, along the walls, are all manner of containers, each which have a siphon which can connect to a central funnel to funnel the chemicals into the vat, which itself has a tap to produce the final mixture on. However, two of the central vat itself is overflowing with one of these fluids, and one of the other vats, the one over the other doorway, is just leaking off and downwards. So there's the central vat and then all the containers around. There's a ladder that leads up to a catwalk on the second level where all the other alchemical reagents are contained. They are all labeled in a fashion, but within the room itself, the room has flooded with to about the depth of 1 foot with this overflowing goop, which is mixing between the two mixtures on the floor in a completely uncontained fashion, producing this acrid odor that assaults your nostrils with a chemical smell.
Well, before I only came in here with my eye, so I never knew it smelt this horrible.
Yeah, it's pretty rank.
Can I see the containers that are leaking? Like, is it clear which containers are leaking goop?
Yes, it is quite clear. So one of the containers is the latch on it is opened up, and it is siphoning liquid continually into the central vat. And then one of the other ones appears to just be opened right up and is causing a waterfall of this thick green fluid to combine down. The other one that's filtering into the central vat, is a purplish color, and the two of them mix together into this octarine pool that fills the rest of the room.
How far away are they?
The room itself is 40 feet wide, with roughly curved edges, and then the central vat is about 10 feet in width.
But how far away from the door?
From the main entrance are these
Yeah.
two. They're on the opposite walls from the door. So the one vat is over the door leading to the west, and the other is to the north.
Okay.
Quill, would you mind maybe mage-handing that ladder back towards us so that I could hop on it?
How far away is the ladder?
The ladder itself is built onto the catwalk that surrounds the room along the north wall.
Built onto it. Just move it on over, Quill.
I go to mage hand it.
The ladder
see
is
if I can get it.
attached to the yeah.
More
Come
just
on,
to
Quill,
humor.
just bring it.
Or just to humor him, and I'm like,
I can't. I can't. It's attached. I can't.
Okay, well then, perhaps.
Don't you have a ladder, Cogsworth?
Why would I have a ladder?
And that wand of yours?
Goodness, no.
Does anybody have floating disc?
No, but I have another idea.
What's your idea?
I'm going to cast Enlarge Reduce on myself, and I'm going to reduce my size.
Okay.
And then I should weigh enough that a mage hand can carry me around.
Okay.
Yeah? So I'm going to reduce my size, so now I'm only like 1 foot tall.
All right,
And I
guys.
What's
pick
my
up,
voice?
I pick up
All right,
Cogsworth.
guys.
Now mage hand me over to the catwalk, and I will hop up there and mend the broken containers.
And I carry him over.
Are they broken or
Good thinking,
just
Cogsworth.
turned on?
They're both opened.
Oh, not broken.
Fly me to the mechanism to close the containers.
and I also help, so we'll double mage hand this.
We'll get you over there.
Okay, so
And I'm standing on the two mage hands trying to close the latch.
okay.
We're making like a platform.
So you mage hand Mini Cogsworth over to the first container, the one that is just spilling out into the room.
Whatever the
Yes.
closest one is, yeah.
And so Cogsworth, the lever is opened on this whole thing. You have been mage handed over. The tap is overflowing. What are you going to do?
I'm going to try to push the lever.
Okay, make a strength check.
Close.
It's stuck. And you have disadvantage because you are reduced.
You had to say that after I rolled really well. Okay, all right, hold on. 12.
So you pull with all of your very, very small might, but it won't budge.
Can you hold him, Nimble Quill?
Yeah, I got this.
And I'm gonna use my mage hand to try to pull the lever.
The mage hand is not strong enough to pull the lever. It seems that the reason why is there's fluid that is twisting out of the vats, right? So when you're pulling the lever to close these vats, you're pulling against the flow of the liquid. So the mage hand, because a mage hand has basically no strength score, it isn't strong enough to pull it closed.
And neither am I.
Well, Cogsworth, you're over there now. Why don't you shape back up and pull it closed?
Yeah.
I won't be able to stand on the mage hand if I enlarge my size.
But couldn't you stand on the rail? Isn't there a platform
there's a
or something?
catwalk.
Well, fine. I hop over to the catwalk and I enlarge myself, and then I try the lever again.
Okay, make a strength check. This time with no disadvantage.
And can I help? Can I help with pull with the mage
The
hand
mage
at all?
hand isn't strong enough to make any difference.
The mage hand, it does that thing.
I got 3.
Okay, so you pull the first time. The fumes in this room are really awful. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Is it against magic? No, wait, it doesn't matter. 18.
Okay, you do take 5 points of poison damage, but you're fine.
Okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Cogsworth, do you have any way that you could like throw down a rope or something that we can climb up and maybe do it together? Maybe.
Does the catwalk go all the way around the outside of the
Yes, it
room?
does.
Like, including like, so I go to where I'm above the doorway that they're standing in, and I tie a rope from my bag to hang down to where the door is.
Okay, so it's about a 5-foot gap from where the rope dangles down to where the doorway is. But then with the overflow of the liquid into the room, it's about 10 feet from the edge of the liquid to the rope. So you'll need to jump to grab the rope.
Okay. This alchemical ingredient, this mix, this goop, it's very magical,
Yes.
right? Could I, in essence, dispel magic in a space to like almost part the seas, if you will, to give us a chance to run and grab the rope?
You can certainly try.
Okay. Get ready, Quill.
I'm ready.
And I'm going to cast Dispel Magic and try to kind of create like a cone or like a wedge into the the goop.
So the goop immediately in front of you? Okay. So you cast Dispel Magic. Make a spellcasting ability check.
Ooh, not great. 14.
The area of the liquid that you target, a 10-foot area of it is rendered inert, and the magic vanishes from it, and it just is almost like water. And it's starting to flow back in. So because the liquid is continuing to flow, the area that you've done is rendered inert. It might flow back in really quickly, so you got to move now.
So we run, and I run.
I feel an agility, and I through, and I do.
And you scurry up the rope.
Grab
Okay.
onto the rope.
So all three of you are on the catwalks now. In the room.
I have.
Rufus and Quill, both of you can give me Constitution saving throws because of the fumes.
20?
20?
15.
Okay, you're both fine, but you do take 5 points of poison damage.
Oh.
With my divine powers, I have already solved how to fix this room.
I mean, we can close the taps.
But the taps are difficult to close for anybody because of the flowing liquid.
But that's why. Let's do it together. Let's give it a go and see.
Give it a
All right.
big wrench.
All right, fine, let's try it.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, the three feeble mages working together are enough to close the first tap.
Success!
To the next one.
Wait, where's the next
One moment, Cogsworth.
There's this gurgling
Winded.
noise
Breath.
because clearly there's a drain. Have you ever had a clogged sink in your home that it's still kind of drained, but as long as the water was still flowing, the sink would fill up? So
Yeah.
you can see now with both the vats closed, very slowly the liquid is gurgling down this drain that's in the room, this emergency drain. And as it does so, there's almost this burping, belching sound, the sound of bubbles bursting down a pipe and flowing back up, this and these waves of the smell of a combination of sulfur and sewage bubble up with it. And then there's a bit of a low rumbling as all of a sudden there is a backsplash of alchemical liquid that is ejected out the drain, and it just fires up out of the drain with a splatter, and it's the solid octarine gelatin form that lurches and bubbles and burps and begins babbling, and it is babbling arcane incantations. It's casting spells. Roll for initiative.
Whoa! What is?
At least we still have mage armor.
We cleared the drain.
What do y'all got?
11.
12.
14.
So Rufus, you are first. This thing is huge, gigantic. It is a puddle of animate gelatin and ooze. The combination of these fluids bristling with octarine energy, and it possibly bits of bone and some hair as well. It smells awful, and inside its form, you can see the hanging runes of arcane magic.
Is this all like a clubbed together thing from like the bottom of the drain?
Yes.
Is this what this is? I'm gonna try to I'm gonna cast Dispel Magic on it as a 4th level spell
Okay. So,
and try to suppress its
all right.
arcane
Make
power.
a spell attack roll against it.
I've dealt with these things before in my own house, but they weren't as animate.
We get clogged drains all the time in the towers.
21.
21. Okay. So the effect of casting Dispel Magic on this creature is going to act as if you cast the Blight spell against a plant creature. So what we'll do is with the successful incantation. So normally, a creature takes 8d8 necrotic damage from blight, but a plant creature or a magical plant makes the save with disadvantage and takes maximum damage, or 64 points of damage. So I'm gonna roll the saving throw. What's your spell saving throw DC?
17.
Yeah, I super fail. So it takes 64 points of we'll call it force damage as you weaponize dispel magic against this horrific creature.
And I did so I did as a 4th level spell. That's why it's blight.
Yeah.
It's like a, and I try to suppress this. Get out of here! We're trying to clean up. Aldrick's not going to like it if we leave a big mess.
Bits of the runes flitter and fail inside it, but the creature is still lurching towards you.
That's all for. And I kind of press myself up against the wall as it lurches towards us.
Cogsworth, it's your turn.
Cogsworth pulls out his broken wand that's crackling with energy, and he points it straight at the creature and yells, "Lightning bolt!" And I'm going to use the Wand of Wonder. So we're going to roll that and see what I actually cast. Why I'm rolling so low? I cast slow.
Okay.
I got a 5.
Okay, you cast slow upon the creature. What is your spell saving throw DC?
17.
Okay. It fails its saving throw. The Wand of Wonder, the lightning bolt doesn't stick, but it is slowed by the spell.
I look at my wand and I'm just like, it will do. I knew that was going to happen.
And Quill, it is your turn. So now this bubbling, pulsing ooze is moving in slow motion. It was already a slow-moving creature, but now you can see the ripples of the quivering gelatin and ooze as it moves forward.
If dexterity saving throws, it's really bad at now, just to let you guys know.
Okay. I am just like,
You know what? This thing needs to be cleaned up a little bit faster. And I cast Wall of Fire around it.
Focused inward? Okay, so you can completely surround it with the Wall of Fire.
Mhm.
Nice.
What does that smell like?
Oh, burnt.
We're cooking.
It's a chemical burn.
We're cooking the drain.
Yeah, it's like a
goop.
really bad chemical burning smell.
That's 15 years of just waste being burned.
And again, my pupil, every time I use fire, my pupils just get so big, and it's just, you see the flames flickering in my eyes. Let's see. So it's must make a dexterity saving throw.
And it is
Hey.
it fails.
-2 to
It fails
dexterity.
very miserably.
Okay.
Yeah, it has a cumulative -7 on its dexterity saving throw.
21 damage.
Nice.
And it ain't going nowhere.
So the creature ripples as it comes to take its turn, and as the fire moves inward from it, it seems to absorb the energy of the spell, and it unleashes at the three of you its own fireball.
It needs to roll a d20
Okay,
as it's slowed.
and what I get an 18. What does that mean?
On an 11 or higher, the spell doesn't take effect until the creature's next turn. And the creature must use its action on that turn to complete the
Okay.
spell. If it can't,
So
the
it's
spell
moving
is
and it's
wasted. So it
gathering
takes
this
2 turns.
energy, and you can see the fireball very slowly moving towards you all.
I would suggest we move out of the way.
Yeah, we slowly just get down and just start shimmying around the edge.
Rufus, it's your turn.
Fireballs are my specialty. I wouldn't worry about that.
Did it end its
Yes,
turn
it did.
within 10
yeah,
feet?
yeah.
So it takes another.
Yep.
Seeing as I'm gonna unleash another dispel magic.
28 damage, by the way.
Okay. Another dispel magic on it?
Just as a third level
Okay.
spell. Again, trying to it kind of focused in on the fireball, trying to like push everything back in and try to kill this.
Do you
creature, and
Do you want
I'm
to-
waving my
okay,
wand around.
You can target the creature, or you can try to dispel the fireball in progress. I'll have you like do a delayed counterspell if you want to try to stop the fireball in progress.
I was, yeah. This is the fastest. It's the fastest counterspell I've ever done. I just really took my time with it. I was like gonna counterspell, but I was like, no, let's dispel it. I take the time to like conjure the thing, and
Okay.
yeah, fireball
So
done.
you dispel the fireball in progress. Okay, Quill, it is your turn.
Oh, my turn.
Oh no, sorry,
I thought it
Cogsworth,
was,
it's your turn.
Let's see. So it's surrounded by fire. It's slowed. It's how's it looking? Is it looking?
It is faltering,
up?
yes.
You know what? I'm just going to toll the dead on it. We're just going to toll the dead on it. So I pull out a bell and I start ringing it at its face. Not like yours. Mine's like a
Okay.
dong dong, and it's a wisdom save of 17.
It gets a 23.
I'm just flailing my bell around. Then. And I'm going to move out of this area that it looks... I guess the fireball was dispelled, so never mind. I remain where I am. That's my turn.
Okay, Quill, now it is your turn.
And I go to Cogsworth and say, when you ring the bell, you make the spell. That's how it works. And I ring the bell. And I'm like, woo! And I firebolt, but I firebolt kind of like into the air. So that way it goes into the middle of the firewall. 27 to hit.
Yeah.
Boom.
Boom, boom.
For 14 damage.
Nice.
It's its turn, but it has to finish casting the fireball that was dispelled. So the only thing that it gets to do is it instinctively lurches out with one of its pseudopods, slapping towards Rufus.
Ah!
Getting a 15 to hit.
That is a hit.
All right. Rufus, that's going to be 16 points of bludgeoning damage and another 10 points of acid damage.
16 and 10.
But in the midst of that, it sends the pseudopod out over the wall of fire. It has the reach to reach up onto the catwalk to attack, but it ends its turn in the wall of fire radius as well, and so it has to make another saving throw against it, which with the -7, I roll it a 17, but a -17 penalty -7 penalty takes it down to a 10. So I think I take damage from the wall of fire again.
Yeah. 26.
And with that, the wall of fire consumes it, and it screeches, yeah! and the rest of the chemical is burned away, leaving nothing more than this awful sulfurous smell.
Ring, 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 ring. Yeah.
I had to fight a slightly smaller version of that in my home shower. Just as deadly.
What kind of things do you have in your shower?
I can imagine.
I have to wash off all the alchemical and hair. It kind of coalesces, as we say, in the drain.
Oh, I never want to be a house guest of yours.
You are a young apprentice at the Mage's Tower. In due time, you'll be showering and having your fur and alchemical goop wash out into the drain, and I'm sure you'll have to fight a few of these. You get used to it. Don't worry. This is just another clogged drain. You've never dealt with a clogged drain at an academy tower?
Well, not a magical one that would attack me.
How long have you been at the Amethyst Academy? Like 2 years?
No, longer than that. But like, I was at a smaller tower.
I mean, I guess it was about 47 years before I saw my first one of these. Anyway, problem dealt with. Is the room secure? I'm gonna go like look over the edge of the catwalk. Is everything clean?
Sparklingly so. Whatever concoction of alchemical ingredients that did combine here have produced a superb cleaning agent.
Nimble Quill, I'm putting a check mark next to this room. You've done an excellent job.
Congratulations, Quill. Well done.
Yes. Just make sure you tell Aldrick about this so that way I can up my rank.
Make sure to include you in the footnotes.
Oh.
So, this floor is completely under control. I could put a check mark next to the whole floor. Was there anything else? The apprentice.
Oh, yeah.
We have a living person still imprisoned.
Yeah, well, I guess we have to get, like, another living thing that is willing to trade places with her. That's how that magic works?
Yes, Nimble Quill. And we
Maybe
know
a
exactly who that's going to be.
Who?
Oh, sorry, we're not there yet in the timeline. Never mind.
The only chamber near in this area that now remains unexplored is the battle gym in the level above, as well as you also have the apprentice remaining in one of the summoning chambers, and the kraken in the spell test chamber.
I'm gonna feeling a little bit sore. I'm gonna take a potion while we're not in danger.
I too will drink a potion, not because I need one, but because it sounds delicious. Would you guys like me to look ahead for us?
Like physically look ahead, like mentally look ahead.
Mentally. I have just the thing for this. I'm going to use magic.
To look where?
At the battle gym.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Just give me a moment.
I'm what we're getting ourselves into.
I'm going to cast I can, based on where the ceiling is and all of that, and I know the battle gym is the floor above us. Would I safely be able to cast Clairvoyance on the level above us?
I think
it says
yeah.
An obvious location, such as behind a door, around a corner, etc., etc. So I'm going to go one floor up to the battle gym, and I'm going to cast Clairvoyance, and I'm going to choose to see what is happening.
So this level of the floor above is a large chamber of though there is stone underneath, there's the palpableness of walls of force that are protecting the insides of this chamber. The stairs lead up from there's the stair you can see in the room itself, this large room about 100 feet on each side and 100 feet in height, has the staircase from below leading up into it, but then another staircase from the other side leading down. And the chamber itself has several pedestals that can raise or lower out of the ground. The wheels to manipulate the pedestals are along the chamber near where these pedestals are along the chamber near where the staircases are. But you can see that as someone who is familiar with what a battle gym looks like, this is a chamber where abjurers and evokers can practice their magic in a very practical way. But it seems like the main sequence of this room has been turned on, and it is drawing an inordinate amount of arcane energy. For one of the features of these gyms is that an arcane wraith can be conjured in a battle gym. One of palpable levels of arcane power. And these wraiths persist until the room is either shut down or they are defeated. This wraith simply takes the form of the Archmage Modera herself. For these arcane wraiths at their maximum power are designed to effectively be simulacra of the Archmage of the tower themselves, and are meant for the students to test their mettle against another mage. So when a battle gym is activated, it creates a simulacra of another mage that someone can test their arcane might against another. And as you look in this room, this simulacra, which is very clearly magical, it is in the form of a bristling arcane wraith with the visage of Archmage Modera, in full battle regalia, slightly translucent in appearance. And swirling about her are the forms of several spells. This lightning bolt is arcing around the chamber, bouncing off the walls like a snake bouncing around. And the energy of a cloud kill spell is roiling through the chamber as well. And at the same time, it looks like a mid-sequence burning hands is fluttering. 3 of these are fluttering throughout the chamber as well.
I come back from my clairvoyance and I pull out my notepad and I go, Nimble Quill, I'm putting the battle chamber down under your name.
What?
No problem. You're working on completing your Amethyst Academy training. It turns out that we have a training procedure in effect just upstairs.
Oh wow. I mean my training isn't really the job. I guess it's to clean, right? Is that what we're
Absolutely. Rufus, I think it's a due time that you went on your retirement. I think we're all done here. Quill,
Wait,
you
what?
just go ahead. Don't worry about it. Guys, it's bad.
Cogsworth, what did you see?
You were gonna send me in there and you know it's bad?
This is the probability of you're meant to go in that room, Nimble Quill. One way or another.
I'd rather have my friends there to help.
There are a few instances where that's the case, and actually if we are to save Nimble Quill, Rufus, I know you're 2 weeks away from retirement, and I still have many good years ahead of me. Unfortunately, the probability of all of us perishing is quite high, but the chances of Nimble Quill surviving also go up if all 3 of us go in the room.
So we got to shut down the room.
It would appear so, but there's a spellcaster, simulacrum of sorts, and there's many spells that seem to be active at the moment. I've only seen this one other. No, I'd have to say this is brand new for me in my 900 and some odd years. If you 3 are willing to go into that room, then I suppose I would sway the probabilities in Quill's favor.
I mean,
Rufus,
ultimately, I would love to come out of here with my life.
It's unlikely, but we'll try. Rufus, what say you?
Well, I don't want to divert from my plans. I really got to get out and see the world. But it looks like my hands are tied until we clean this place up. I feel like my retirement might be eternally postponed if I can't complete this last task. And I really don't want to leave on a bad note with the academy. I'm as much as I want to get out of here, this is where I've put my life. So I don't think I have a choice.
And Rufus, if it eases your mind at all, just know that if Nibble Quill does die horribly up there, you and I can just leave and you can go on your vacation and rest easy at night knowing that it was partially your fault.
Partially.
Yes, not all your fault. That's why you can rest easy.
Come on, Quill. It's time to face your destiny.
Okay. Let's get up there.
All right, let's go battle a gym. All right, we're heading.
I haven't been to the gym in a long time.
I can tell.
My old bones.
So, are you going to head up?
Maybe we can prepare.
Are we? I was gonna say, are we gonna try to go up at least a little bit stealthy, or are we just gonna go full, like firebolts blazing?
Do you think this is the Rogues Academy?
No.
How do you go stealthy? Usually I just walk into rooms and say, I am Cogsworth B. Copperpot the Great Diviner. That's how most of us Amethyst Academy mages do it.
Maybe a short rest is necessary before we decide to.
Sure. You can all take a short rest. Don't forget that you can also use your arcane recoveries now to regain some spell slots.
Yes.
Ooh.
And
all right,
are there
short
any spells that you want
rest.
to cast on yourselves before you go forth?
How's our
Yes.
mage armor?
Your mage armor would still be in
time-wise?
effect, yeah.
So I'm actually going to cast. How long does Mirror Image work?
1 minute, so you'd need to wait to cast it
Okay.
until the last moment before you go in.
Fair.
Before you
also-
die. Cast it right before you die.
What?
So that you can see all of me die. Cool. I'm just going to make sure that I have Mage Armor on. And other than that, yeah, I'm gonna heal up.
An arcane recovery, it's a combo of 5 levels, right?
Yes.
Take it back. Okay. Cool.
All right. I've taken my short rest back up to full health. I think I'm doing okay with spell slots. How are the three of you feeling? I mean, 2 of you. Sorry, I got
mean,
a little confused there. Where's the other guy?
Considering that you said I'm probably gonna die, I'm a little bit nervous. But you know what? If I'm gonna go out, it's gonna be in a blaze of Academy glory. They're gonna remember my name of Nimble Quill.
The unfortunate thing is that by telling you you're probably going to die, it appears that I've actually increased the probability because now you're freaking out about it. Are you freaking out about it?
No, of course not.
You should be freaking out about it.
I'm not freaking out.
The more calm you are, the higher the probability you'll survive is. It goes from a 99.9 down to about a 97, so I would stay calm. Get those extra percentages.
I'm gonna stay real calm, or like calm.
You guys ready
Mm.
Yep.
to face your destiny?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Okay. Are there any
Have
spells
to.
you want to cast before heading up the stairs?
Mirror image.
I'm going to cast Mirror Image as we're approaching the top of
Okay.
the stairs. So we have a stairwell filled with many quills and cogsworths.
Yep.
Are you mirror imaging or do you have it?
No, yeah, I don't need it. I don't need it. I hope. It's fine.
A duplicate's AC is not influenced by mage armor, right?
Yes, that's correct.
I figured I'd ask.
Okay. So, you head up into the chamber. This battle gym is in full Omega level battle mode. The entire chamber is bristling with the defensive energies protecting the inside of the chamber, the walls of force in effect all around. And as you come up the stairs, you feel the wall of force close the staircase behind you. And as you enter the chamber, Archmage, the arcane wraith of Archmage Modera, speaks down to you and says, "Apprentices, are you ready for your great challenge? Prepare your most powerful spells. Your will and arcane might shall be tested." And
I pull out my broken
and
wand.
There's a thrum of arcane energy, and she notes, "Be warned, safety has been disabled for this exercise."
Uh-oh.
Yes, this is how I saw it. Good luck, Quill.
I start banging on the wall of force. I'm like, I'm having second thoughts about this.
Remembering back to my abjuration battle days, is there an off switch in a battle gym?
There is a way of disabling the sequence of the gym. And it usually involves invoking a specific command word or some sort of safe word to disable the whole gym. And sometimes, and most commonly, it consists of getting down on your hands and knees, groveling before whichever form you're speaking, and crying out, "I surrender! I surrender!"
That's turned off, isn't it?
There's no way to turn this thing off. Well, I guess we'll just have to kill it.
We'll just have to beat it.
Roll for initiative.
14.
19.
5.
Okay. Quill, you are so as the room thrums with energy and the wraith-like form of Archmage Modera stands upon a pillar. So there are several pillars forming an 8-pointed octagon in this room, and you can stand on one of them and it will raise you 50 feet up into the room. Modera is standing on one of them and it has raised her up into the room, so she's standing 50 feet up in the air. And then echoing and reverberating through this chamber are the forms of a lightning bolt bouncing around, to a pair of living burning hand spells and a living cloud kill spell. Quill, you are first to act.
How far away is the cloud kill spell?
The cloud kill spell is on the ground in the northern corner of the room. You guys are in the south. You guys are in the south corner. The cloud kill is opposite you, about 100 feet away.
Okay. I say, well, might as well start this with a bang. And I ring the bell and toss a fireball over at Modera.
Right. The fireball lurches through the air and strikes towards Modera, the wraith of Modera. She gets a 10 on her saving throw against the fireball.
No.
Aha!
Oh gosh, so many dice. 1, 2, 3. 8d6, right? Oh, I was not prepared. And one more. Okay, hold on. $29 damage.
Nice.
As the energy of the spell collides with the arcane wraith, the flames lick across its form, and Modera forms a face of indignant anger. Anything else you'd like to do, Quill?
Step back. Step back. Ready.
Modera lifts her hands above her head. The Wraith of Modera lifts her hands above her head and pulls her hands around her side. And as she does so, she incants the spell Globe of Invulnerability.
Can I counterspell that?
You can certainly try. This is the 6th level spell.
I'm gonna cast. Oh no, I just need to roll, don't I? I can't cast 6th level spells, so I just have to roll. I'm gonna try to counterspell
it. Are we close enough to counterspell? Just a question.
She's in the center of the room, 50 feet up, so you're within the range of counterspell. Yeah.
Okay.
I got a 17.
That's exactly what you needed. Her Globe of Invulnerability is counterspelled.
Amazing,
Yes.
Cogsworth.
Yes.
Quite the showmanship.
Good job.
I'm letting you two practice. I'm just here to make sure nothing goes horribly wrong and try to keep Quill alive.
Okay. Cogsworth, anything else?
That's my reaction. Is it my turn?
Yes, it is your turn.
Oh, cool. So I counterspell the Globe of Invulnerability and immediately lash back with, I start swirling my wand around my head and my own cloud kill appears and I hurl it right so that it forms around the top of the pillar that she's on so that it encompasses around her.
Okay.
So I cast cloud kill on her. And if you're going to roll for the save, I'm going to use my portent.
Okay. What are you going to force me to get on my saving throw?
A 15, and the spell DC is
so
17.
She fails.
Nice.
Boom.
Da.
Don't worry, I know that she will die to this. And I cast Cloud Kill. For 21 damage.
She is engulfed in the clouds, and you hear a choking from within. Next up, the living cloud kill. It surges forward. It surges forward towards you all, coming into the center of the room around the base of Modera. And because the three of you haven't moved from each other, I can only assume that you're all still collected together. And it conjures a copy of itself, a real cloud kill, in a sphere of fog over the top of you. And all of you need to make Constitution saving throws, as another cloud kill is dropped upon the three of you.
I did not see this coming.
18?
15.
13.
It was con, right?
Oh my gosh.
Good luck, Rufus.
What did you get, Rufus?
Stop breathing so hard.
Okay, the
13.
DC is 16, so those of you that fail take 22 poison damage, and those of you that succeed take 11.
As I'm trying to yell for Rufus to not breathe so hard, I'm breathing too hard, and then I succumb to it.
I really want the gust of wind back.
The next to act is the living lightning bolt, but engulfed in the cloud kills as you all are, you cannot see what it does. You just hear this crackling energy moving through the room. Next up, Rufus, you are engulfed in the cloud kill. So you've already taken your damage from the starting your turn there. So if you end your turn there, you will So you entered it for the first time. If you start your turn there again, you'll take more damage.
I'm going to Rufus is going to point his wand at himself. He's going to kind of stab it into his chest, and he starts to mutter some arcane. He starts to grumble, and he starts to just transform into a giant ape, and and then he's gonna like kind of like on all four legs start to just run up the pillar and start to climb up the pillar at the simulacrum.
Okay. We'll say you're about halfway out. What's the speed on the giant ape? Let's see.
40.
Okay, so you can run out of the cloud kill, but you're at the base of the pillar where Modera is then.
Okay. Getting ready to climb.
As you run out of the cloud kill, you see the lightning bolt the living lightning bolt is now on the ground, waiting to strike at someone that comes out. But and also these two living burning hands roil along the ground towards you. They have to spend all of their movement, but they get right up to you, and they're at the base of the pillar as well, crackling with burning energy. We go to the top with Quill. So Quill, you are in the cloud. You're in another cloud kill yourself.
Okay. So I'm gonna then again start to run out to my right, and I feline agility so I can get as far away from this cloud kill as possible. Okay. And I see this giant ape, and I still wanna. Do I see the hands, the burning hands?
Yes, the burning hands are surrounding. The burning hands are surrounding the giant ape, and the lightning bolt and the cloud kill are beside each other.
And the cloud kill are beside each other.
The cloud kill, the real cloud kill, the living cloud kill is on the other side of the room. The conjured cloud kill is on the opposite side. So there's three cloud kills in this room. There's the living cloud kill, the one that's around Modera, and the one that's on the ground.
Stinky,
yeah. There's just poison gas everywhere.
Okay. I want to. I see the living cloud kill, and is it on the ground or is it floating?
They're both on the ground.
Okay, and I can they float?
Yes,
they float?
Can
fly. Then I just toss another fireball at it.
At the cloud kill.
At the living cloud kill. I'm just like.
Okay.
So it has to make a dexterity saving throw.
It gets a 15.
No, it's a 16. Okay. Oh, so many dice. Feels good.
You're setting poison gas on fire. It's going to only be good.
All right. $10, $25, $30.
Wow.
Nice.
And it has to make a concentration check on its duplicate cloud kill. And it fails. The conjured cloud kill disappears as the living cloud kill is bludgeoned with fire. Revealing Cogsworth still in the living cloud kill. In the area near the living lightning bolt.
I can see.
Anything else, Quill?
Nope.
Okay. Alrighty. So there is a moment where it seems like you feel for a moment in the area of the cloud, there is a moment as if time itself were fractured for a split second.
Oh.
And as you come to, after this fracture, there is a moment where quite suddenly the wraith of Modera is on the ground with surrounded in a wreath of flame, and there are 4 of her.
I think she just cast
fire.
Time stop. I think we were just time stopped. Did anybody else feel the strange passage of time just now?
Everything skipped ahead.
That's normal for me.
Feel like I've got a glimpse into your mind. Scary.
And that is Modera's turn. Cogsworth, it is your turn.
I pull out my wand and I point it viciously at Modera. And I step forward and I say, "Did you hear the one about the Myconid who walked into a tavern? The barkeep wouldn't serve him, and he said, 'Why not? I'm a fun guy.'" And then I'm going to cast Hideous Laughter.
Okay.
Now that she's out of my cloud
All right,
kill.
what's the saving throw DC?
17.
She gets a 25.
She didn't find my joke
She
funny.
did not.
And I start running back away from these two. I don't know where you guys, like, I don't know how close we are right now, but I try to make some distance between us. And that's my beautiful joke and spell. Thank you, everybody.
Well done.
The living cloud kill. It careens itself towards Nimble Quill. Flying towards you, Quill, and it will strike at you with its arcane strikes. Making 2 attacks with its magical strikes.
And I do have mirror image
Okay.
on me.
So it gets a 27 and a 21 to hit with its 2 attacks. But now you need to roll to find out if your mirror images are struck by each attack.
Okay, so first, so roll a 6 or higher. I rolled a 15 on the
Okay.
die, and I don't add anything
No,
to that,
so
right?
that-
Just
yeah,
whatever I
so-
roll
So it's 6 or higher and it hits a mirror image, right?
for the first. Yeah, because I have all
Yeah.
of them right now.
So 1 mirror image gets hit
Ah.
by the first attack. And
Okay, now I got to roll
Again,
an 8 or
an
higher.
8 or higher to see if it hits a mirror image.
6.
So you get hit with the second attack, and you take 22 points of poison damage.
Oh,
Ooh.
Are you You're not concentrating on a spell right now, are you?
No, because I was doing fireball.
Alrighty. And the living lightning bolt. The living lightning bolt, it moves up to Cogsworth, and it attacks with its magical strikes. Getting a 12 and a 9.
Both miss. Thanks to my armor.
All right, Rufus, it is your turn.
Ape Rufus is looking up the pillar and realizing that the wizard is suddenly not there anymore, and then turns around and beats his chest and just starts galloping towards it. Can I reach the
As
group
you
of 4
gallop
of them?
towards, you smash into an invisible wall.
Ah! Oh! My beautiful ape face.
Just fuels his anger.
And I gotta try to climb this invisible wall.
You are stuck in a spherical wall of force
Ah!
with
and I start
with the
screaming.
living burning hands.
I start yelling and screaming, and can I punch one of the burning
Yeah.
hands? I start punching at them. I take out all my rage.
Alrighty, go for it. Make an attack.
24.
That hits.
Punching a burning hand spell.
Oh my god. 33
The burning
damage.
hands explodes, and you take 10 points of fire damage.
Ah! And I get to punch the other one.
Okay, but first make a concentration check because you took damage.
Oh. Okay, here's where Warcaster pays its dividends. 20.
Warcaster does not apply while you are polymorphed because you lose the benefits of all. It's not like wild shape.
Oh, okay, hold on. I'm re-rolling everything. I rolled
Okay,
a
you're
27.
The second living burning hands.
I'm gonna roll to hit. I get a 14.
That is a miss.
So I'm just swinging
Living-
at this
Yeah.
ethereal fire.
And it attacks you back, getting a natural 1. It misses completely.
In the chaos, there's just fire and ape yelling all in this
in
bubble, but it's like it's all like muffled, so you guys just hear like from far away.
We go back to the top of the round with Nimble Quill. You are staring down a living cloud kill.
Like it's on
it's
me
on
or
you,
it's in
yeah.
front of me? So is it cloud killing me?
It hasn't engulfed you. It is coming up. The living spells have a little bit more form to them than they would otherwise. Yeah.
Okay. Is it based with me or how far away? It's based with me. Okay. Then am I by a wall?
No, you're kind of in the center of the room near one of the pillars because you moved out of the cloud kill towards the center of the room.
Okay. Then I am going to tell me if this makes sense. Web the cloud kill. This is because you said it's a bit more solid.
Yeah.
Does that work? Okay.
It's magic. We don't need to think of the physics.
Like,
okay.
And I web it. So dex save.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
It gets a 9.
No.
So you web the cloud kill.
Yes.
Words you can only say playing Dungeons and Dragons.
I web it.
Yep.
I web it. Good job. Take that cloud kill out.
Okay.
Now say that you're
It is restrained.
Cogsworth.
Okay. The Archmage's Wraith. Seeing this, she is going to cast. She steps forward and she casts Cone of Cold, and with the range on it and the area, I'm going to say that both Rufus and the Lightning Bolt and the Cloud Kill and Quill are all in it.
Can I counterspell it? A 4th level.
If you can outright counterspell it using a 5th level spell slot, or otherwise you have to roll the dice.
Roll for it. Roll for it.
Does the Wall of Force protect me?
Yes, it does. Otherwise, you would be hit by it.
You know what?
Accept my new cage.
I will use my 5th level to.
Oh! Cone of Cold is counterspelled.
Wow.
And I tap on the glass excitedly.
Cogsworth.
I'm so proud of you, Quill.
There's so much bell ringing happening in this battle. I'm like,
it is your turn.
Ding, ding, ding.
Cogsworth is like pacing back and forth, eyeing down Modera. He has his wand at his side, and then he draws it out again, points it at her, and starts muttering some incantations. And he's going to cast Phantasmal Killer on her.
Okay. She makes a wisdom saving throw. She gets a 17.
Ah, that's the DC. Do you still take half? I think you take half. Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, no.
Is it nothing? I think it might be nothing.
Yeah.
Phantasmal Killer is not a garbage spell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just remembering that right now. That's why. That's why we don't like that spell.
Okay.
Every time
You tried.
What are you afraid of? And then she doesn't say anything. I'm like, oh, I'm afraid now. And I run.
Okay. The living cloud kill, it doesn't recharge its spell, so it tries to break out of the restraints that hold it in place. So it has to make a strength check against your spell saving throw DC, I believe. Yeah.
Strength check. Yeah.
It's a natural 1. It's
Yes.
The
Struggles
cloud
under the
is
web.
stuck in the web. The living lightning bolt, on the other hand, it fires out a bolt of lightning that draws the line between Cogsworth and Quill. Both of you need to make dexterity saving throws.
17.
That's a success. That's a failure.
2.
So Cogsworth, old chum, you're going to take 34 lightning damage. And Quill, you're going to take 17. And then the lightning bolt rides the bolt of lightning, and it ends beside Quill.
I get blasted out of the way.
Are you alive, Cogsworth? Cogsworth!
I'm like slumped over on the ground, and I stand back up. I'm like, I'm fine, and like one of my arms is.
He
It's a
just
flesh
twitches
wound.
with the lightning. Rufus, it is your turn.
I continue to swing wildly at the burning hands.
And Quill, you need to make a concentration check, DC 10 for your web. You're good.
18.
Rufus, what were you going to do?
I try to punch the burning hands with my ape fist. I
That
get
is
a
a hit.
15 for
It
21
is
damage.
destroyed and explodes, dealing 8 points of fire damage to you.
Ah! And I get a 14 on
You're all
my
good.
check.
But you're still stuck in the
And
you are still stuck in the wall of force.
I'm just banging on the glass. I want out. Rufus want out.
Okay. With that, the burning hands are destroyed, so we go back to Quill.
Knowing that I am low, I decide to take on a new form.
Yeah.
And I cast Polymorph, and I change into a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Ah.
Imagine the mini
Yeah.
being put down right now. Yes,
Okay.
I change. That is.
Do you want to move?
No, I'm gonna stay where I
Okay.
am. But my web ends.
Okay, the web ends and the living cloud kill is released. Okay. Modera's Wraith. She is she's gonna hit you all with another cone of cold.
What?
Hold on. I am going to counterspell it. I'm going
Okay.
to try. I got a 10.
It is not counterspelled.
Oh no.
And the cloud kill, Quill, the lightning bolt, and Cogsworth, you can all make Constitution saving throws.
Oh no, guys. I'm sorry.
That's a 4.
6. Oh wait, can
Yep.
I use lucky? Use one of my luck points. Yes. I use another one of my luck points. Yep. Oh, that's much better.
Okay.
19.
On a failed saving throw, the living cloud kill fails at saving throw, and the living lightning bolt also fails at saving throw. So all of you that fail take 35 points of cold damage, and all y'all that succeed take half. Oh, and actually, sorry, Quill, you're polymorphed, so you can't use lucky.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's what I was asking. Okay, yeah.
So what was your first roll? Okay, so you take
6.
35 points of damage.
Oh no.
As the cone of cold begins to erupt, I look at Quill and I go, Quill, it wasn't you who dies. and then I get blasted with the cone of cold. I'm at 9 hit points.
You're at 9?
So, well, I was at 9 before the cloud
okay, so
kill.
you're totally down.
The cone of cold.
Or cone of cold.
How much
35.
damage was it?
And you do need to make a concentration saving throw against the against it. The living cloud kill is actually destroyed by it. And Quill, it's going to be a DC 17 concentration check. You're reverted back into a Quill.
No!
Cogsworth, buddy, death saving throw.
I am frozen in place and staring at Quill. That's how I froze. All right. Death saving throw.
That is
I got a
one
3.
failed death save.
Oh no.
Guys, it's okay.
Okay.
Don't worry about me. Finish.
Oh
finish
no,
up.
Coco!
The living
You go,
lightning
Glenn.
bolt is going to come for Quill, who is still mirror imaged. It gets an 11 and a 19 to hit.
No on the first one. I'm gonna cast. You know what? I'm gonna try the mirror image
Okay.
first. Can I cast
Sure.
shield after if it doesn't work? Okay. So I have to get an 8 or higher. I did not get an 8 or higher, so I'm
Okay.
gonna cast shield.
Shield.
All right, so you still have 2 mirror image is remaining.
Yes.
And Cogsworth still has all his mirror images remaining. He's just on the ground.
They're standing around tapping their feet, waiting for me to get back up.
Okay. Rufus, it is your turn.
Seeing his comrades falling, I'm looking around in the room, and are there shards of like rock and bits and pieces of things that I can see, like either from destroyed materials
Yeah, there's stuff that you
or
could throw, but you're still trapped in a wall of force.
can I cast through the wall of
Depends
force?
on the spell.
So I want to cast animate objects on the things around. Like, can I cast through it, like to pick up things outside of the wall of force?
Yeah, I'm gonna say you can totally animate objects while you're inside the wall of force. Yeah, there's bits of rubble and
So I'm
debris
gonna-
all around, and so you could animate, or you could animate one of the pillars themselves.
I'm gonna do. I'm gonna turn off the ape. I revert back to my
Okay.
regular form, and I'm gonna just close my eyes and try to like summon all of these bits and pieces of shattered material, like bits of ice and glass and maybe some web, and I'm just gonna launch them all at
Yeah,
the
go for it.
simulacrum. So I want to try to get how many tiny pieces do I get? I get like I want
Sure,
so
you
many
can have the
tiny
maximum
pieces.
number. Yeah.
Um,
It's totally conceivable that there's bits of rock and bits of the pillars that you could animate and conjure up. Yeah, go for
10. I got a crit, an 18, a 19, a 15. Oh, wait, do I add my spell
no,
save or
it's,
no?
It's their
No, it's
attack
there.
modifier.
It's the 8. So 26, 27, 14, and a crit. A 27, an 18, a 10,
So
and a
she's
13.
gonna cast shield. So anything under 20, it has to be 20 or higher to be a hit.
So I got a crit and I think 3
Okay.
regular hits.
All right, roll
After
the
that.
damage.
Ugh. Six. 28 damage
across the 4 attacks.
Yeah, so the crit and then the 3 regular hits.
Was any single hit more than 10 damage?
I guess the crit would have been.
So I just gotta check. 3 of those attacks all went through the mirror image. So only one of them goes down. And I have to make 3 concentration checks now. And I fail. So the wall of force is gone too.
Yes.
And she is bloodied.
And I run over to Cogsworth. Cogsworth.
This is how it was meant to be.
Okay. And that's Rufus. The living burning hands are destroyed. Quill, it is your turn.
Okay. And I'm so mad at Modera. I'm like, stop killing my friends! And I use my ring of spell storing to cast Big B's hand. And to essentially like grab her as so it's I can cast it, and then on the spell, when you cast it as a bonus action, you can make it do one of the following effects. So I'm gonna do grasping hand. And you have to do a grapple or strength against its strength score.
So the hand has a strength of 25, so this is a +8.
Yeah. And then do we roll opposing strengths? Okay. I get 21.
I get a 2.
Okay. So you get grasped, and when you do so, it takes 2d6 plus your spell ability modifier. Let me just. So you take 9 damage from that, and you are grappled, I believe.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So you grab the archmage and start squeezing the life out of her. We're gonna go to the top of the. Anything else from you, Quill? Okay.
No.
The archmage is going to. What can she do to get out of this? She's used all her cloud kills, and all of her code of colds. Okay. She is going to Misty Step out of the grasp. So she Misty Steps out, and then she's gonna fire a ray of frost at you, Quill. Getting a 20 to hit with the ray of frost.
This time I want to counterspell.
Are you gonna counterspell the Misty Step or the ray of frost?
Oh, can I counterspell the Misty Step?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I do that valiantly as I'm holding the Cogsworth in my one arm.
So her Misty Step is counterspell.
Tiny little Cogsworth.
So she still tries to fire the ray of frost out from the hand, and because she can still fire the spell while she's in the hand at Quill. So she does. It still does hit. But Quill, you gotta roll your mirror image to see if it gets you or not.
I'm just considering. You know what? Can I counterspell
the ray of frost
using 4th level? I don't know what level it is.
Ray of frost is a cantrip.
Yeah, it is.
Wait, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, okay. I won't do that then. I will just see if it hits me. So I have to get over an 8. I did not get over an 8. You know what? Luck points.
Lucky.
Luck points all around, since I wasn't able to use them before.
Okay, so the mirror image, one of your mirror images is destroyed by the ray of frost.
Nice.
Goodness. It was like shield only makes it a 20.
Okay.
Yay.
Cogsworth, you're still dying on the ground.
I turn to Rufus and I go, Rufus, my left back pocket. There's a list of all of the feeding times for Archibald. He's yours now.
Don't talk like that. Don't talk like that.
I get a 4. That's another fail.
The living lightning bolt sails towards Rufus, getting a 27 and a 15 to hit.
Ow! I'm gonna cast
But you
shield to take
counterspelled
on the
already.
15. Oh yeah, I did.
Yep.
So I take them both.
So Rufus, have you taken any damage yet there, buddy?
Yeah, most of it in ape form.
Because you're about to take a bunch of living lightning bolt damage. As you are horrifically electrocuted by the electric shocks of the living lightning bolt, you go on to take a total of 35 electrical damage.
Ow!
And it is your turn.
I'm going to this lightning bolt is gonna be the death of us. I'm going to feed old Cogsworth a potion of greater healing.
All right.
And I go, it is not our time, old friend. But please, predict hers.
Okay, Cogsworth, you get 20 hit points back.
Oh,
We go back to Quill.
didn't account for that.
Quill.
All right, Quill's just taking a moment. Actually, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna do this. Okay, so the hand, as a bonus action, I can continue to do one of the grasping and the squeezing of this mage. So she takes 11 points of damage from being squeezed.
Yep.
And I'm just
Rufus,
gonna
we
check.
forgot your animated objects. They're still around. They still get to do stuff.
Oh, can they still
Yeah.
attack?
do it.
Oh, is it a bonus action?
I believe it is, actually. But you do have to make 2
Yes.
concentration checks to see if they're still around.
Yeah.
Because you took 2 hits for 17 damage each, so it's 2 DC 10 checks.
So the first check, and this is where I can apply Warcaster. I get a. I rolled really bad, a 5 and a 3, but with a +7, I get a 12.
Okay, so yeah.
On the one, and a 18 on the other.
Okay, so you can resolve your animate objects attacks. And Quill, what else do you want to do with your main action?
So while the hand is holding Modera, I'm going to use a 4th level fireball spell on it.
Okay. Roll the damage on the fireball.
Yeah, it's dexterity,
Yeah.
so it doesn't matter. Yeah. Well, do you have to roll the dex?
Yeah, but I'm going to take damage either way from the
Oh, okay. Sure.
So this is what we have happening. The Modera Wraith is being grabbed by the hand, and then all of these animated rocks are smashing themselves into her face as Quill drops a fireball on top of it. So she's being squeezed, pelted with rocks, and then a fireball drops on top of the whole thing.
38 damage. And my Big B's hand rolls a 16, which saves the save. So the Big B's hand doesn't actually take half damage, I guess. Sorry, it was 38 damage.
Yeah.
Let me just, yeah.
And Joe, how much damage does Rufus deal with the animated objects?
The hit's over 20.
Yeah.
I had 4 hits and another crit.
Okay. So as the dust clears on the fireball, there's just this empty hand.
Dealt with.
Yes.
And the living lightning bolt, its energy expires, and it and collapses from the scene.
I was going to say that I was going to banish it and use my last portent to give it a 3. But whatever.
Alrighty.
We'll save that portent.
I run over to Cogsworth, like, Cogsworth, are you okay? And I like tackle hug him.
All right.
Little Quill,
Old friend.
it turns out that it was my own death that I had been foreseeing this whole time. It also turns out that there was a 0.001 perchance probability of Rufus choosing to save me.
Wow.
Usually you
rely
would
on your
never
force.
do something like that.
It's the right timeline.
Don't look into it.
It is indeed the right timeline. Although we are out of time for tonight, it seems like our heroes have managed to clean up the mess.
Should we do a little, should we go a few minutes and just do a wrap up with Aldrick? Like, is this the conclusion?
When last we left our heroes, they had defeated the simulacra, the arcane wraith conjured by Arcane Modera, and the battle gym's energy breaks as the conjured spells and energy release back into the tower. And as you leave the battle gym, you can see that the rest of the tower, the section of the tower, thrums with new energy as all the arcane lights and servants wake up once more. And as you're walking back through the hallways, the unseen servants and the animated brooms are already starting to sweep up all the rest of the hallways and clean up the remainder of the rooms as they are all meant to do. And as you descend back down the elevators to Aldrick, he meets you there at the base of the elevators and says, "There was just a surge of power all through the rest of the complex. Whatever was drawing all the rest of the energy from the Nexus seems to have been unclogged. Was that you?"
Yes, if I could say so, it turns out that Rufus and Nimble Quill are quite skilled in the ways of magic and have done a wonderful job cleaning up this arcane tower. And if my words matter for anything, I would like to put Nimble Quill's name forward as receiving another ring, because I think she has earned it after such a day. Sorry?
What?
My name, I'm Nimble Quill. I'm a boy.
But you're a cat.
Cats can be boys.
I thought dogs were boys and cats were... this is complicated. Anyway, Nimble Quill, she's done a wonderful job. Just give her a promotion of some sort.
Well, Quill, says Aldrick, we will be needing more Aldrick speaks, the skeletal form of Proctor Nestor emerges wearing a new set of academy robes. So he's just a skeleton wearing robes. And Proctor Nestor says, "Well, I think that my time has come to give up my post. I think I'm going to go and see if I can find myself, really connect back to my body once again. So perhaps the position of Proctor can pass to Nimble Quill."
I would be so honored to take that position, and I am just ready to give my whole life to the academy, really. I mean, I almost did up there, so, this is just the rest of it.
And Rufus, are you sure you want to retire? We could have a fantastic position for you here at the Drakkenheim Tower.
It's all fantastic, everything this place has done for me, but it's the younger generation that really needs to carry onward. I think I've expelled my last bits of power, and I'm ready to put my feet up and enjoy the great years.
Very well. And Cogsworth, will you be staying here in the Academy Tower with us?
I used to teach here in the Academy Tower of Sky, so I think I'd like to stay here.
Very well. Well,
Wait, where are we?
you're in Drakkenheim.
This is Draken.
Cogsworth.
Oh, sorry, I have 3 more towers to investigate and uncover the mysteries of. I've been traveling for about 84 years now to find them all. I'm going to carry on, and Rufus, if you wouldn't mind, perhaps I could come visit you in the Feywild in a few years.
Anytime, old friend. I'll set up a beacon so you can find me.
Well,
I have already seen where you'll be ending up, so don't worry, I'll find you.
in any case, Rufus, your retirement is well earned, and I suspect that with the workshops and the work of Proctor Nestor being able to be restored, we will be able to send you on to your justified retirement at a prime location in the Feywild.
That would be of most delight. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Are you certain you'll want to use the portals here? We're not quite certain in the planar magics being stabilized around Drakkenheim. You may want to venture back to Sky or one of the further towers to depart from this realm to another.
Rufus, I could help you. I could lend you a hand. We have a working one back at my old tower.
That would be lovely. I would. I'll take you up on that offer.
I'll send you on your way, old friend.
You may take the tuning fork with you and head back to Sky and onwards to your justified reward. Remember, though, Rufus, though you are retired from your formal duties with the Academy, you will always be a mage of the Amethyst Academy, and your oaths, no matter which world you walk to, still will hold you in binding. You know this, yes?
I agree, Aldrick, and Eldrick. And I will keep a second eye on wherever I end up, but just know that it'll likely be with a drink in my hand.
The resources of the Academy will always be yours, and should you ever need to contact us once again, and certainly we would love to hear of the tales of your time in the Feywild. All the best.
I will produce a report.
Very good.
Not very lengthy one, though.
You've done a phenomenal job of cleaning up the tower from here. We will send more apprentices to tend to the classrooms, but we knew that it would require expert mages to handle the problems that you encountered. So well done, and I hope that you find these rewards sufficient for your wonderful service to the Amethyst Academy. Don't tell anyone what happened here.
I signed a contract years ago. Nobody will know.
Yes. Least of all, should you run into that Sebastian Crow, we are going to be inducting him in as a mage of the Academy. But it is very important that if you came across any of the work of the Archmage, the former Archmage, you know.
Lenneth the Eventide.
Do not speak of that work to Sebastian Crow. He has taken a great interest in her research and his work, and we are not certain yet whether it is safe for him to be pursuing these things. She was pursued down some dangerous paths. We seem to be uncovering more and more about her own plans for retirement, and I must say, Rufus, it is very... You must know that if you have any other plans of your own for your retirement, we will still know of them.
Yes, mine are amateur at best. I feel like my spell-slinging days are long behind me.
Very good. Well, that is where we will end tonight with our cleanup crew. As we pan out from the Tower of the Amethyst Academy, thrumming with new energy and power, with the restored Nexus and the channeled power unlocked and unleashed. What strange experiments will the Amethyst Academy and fantastic spells will they be able to craft with the power of the Drakkenheim Tower in their hands. That will be for another time, perhaps. But there are more Untold Tales of Drakkenheim still to come. For next week, have we decided yet who we're going to be doing?
I think
we have some favorites, but
we have some favorites, but I think I'm going to actually do a few internet polls on our social media. So if you are watching this, look to Twitter I'm probably going to create a poll on our Twitter account to ask which one you guys want to see next. I'm also going to be asking our Discord, and I'm going to be posting in other various places, just asking the question, which faction do you want to see next?
A few people have also asked, can we do a Rattling episode? And I don't know, that doesn't sound, I mean, come on, like, really? But, tell us if you want to do the Rattlings, I guess we could throw something together like that. So that could be cool, too.
I understand why everybody wants to see the Rattlings, but keep in mind that means that you're watching three of us who aren't Monty play Rattlings, and it won't be as good. None of us are Monty. We can't all be as good at saying yes, yes, yes as he is.
We will have to see. There is. I've noticed a fair amount of demand for some Rattling play. So, and people are asking, are there going to be playable Rattlings in the Drakkenheim book? And I'm like, never really thought of that. But a Rattling campaign, that might be something else. So we'll see about that one. So yes, please let us know on social media what you want to see us play for the next week. Whether you want that to be the Queensmen, the Hooded Lanterns, the Falling Fire, or the Silver Order, or perhaps the Rattlings as well. And we'll take it from there as we continue our Untold Tales of Drakkenheim. Bear in mind as well that Kelly and I post new videos every Thursday on our YouTube channel where we cover everything Dungeons & Dragons, including advice for players and guides for Dungeon Masters. Post new videos every Thursday, so please check that out at youtube.com/dungeondudes.
And don't forget to check us out on Patreon. You can find out how by following the links below or at patreon.com/dungeon_dudes. And keep in mind that if you do join us on Patreon, that you can also join us on Discord and join in on the chat with all of us and hang out and talk to us about everything D&D and anything else that you want to talk to us about. We're kind of jumping around.
We kind of are. Big thank yous out to all of our players, of course. Thank you, Joe, Jill, and Kelly for playing as usual. And thank you to Kyle as well, who's been off the past 2 weeks, but will be helping us for things behind the scenes. We're still doing a bit of a backlog of getting some things up on the podcast and up on YouTube as well. So we should be back on the rhythm with that now once again, once we get Kyle back on all this stuff too.
And a round of applause for our DM, Monty Martin, for all of his hard work in putting this all together.
Pulled it out of my butt.
As DMs often do.
Yeah. What else we got, Kelly?
Well, be sure to join us next Tuesday when we record the campaign live on Twitch. Check us out from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Time at twitch.tv/dungeon_dudes. You can also watch the video episodes of the show on YouTube, and I think Jill has something to add.
Yes, because I was muted. Whoops. Don't forget to take a look at the links below for our Teespring store where you can find all of your favorite Dungeon Dudes merch. bit.ly/Dungeon Dudes merch.
Rock on. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next time with more Untold Tales of Drakkenheim.